It's the final chapter and a magical season that none saw coming. And for four seniors for the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University program, it's a chance to do something that hasn't been done since 2009, make a regionals tournament appearance. And tonight against Illinois State in the final game of the regular season, Indiana has a chance to go 6-0 all-time against the Redbirds. Glad you can join us. Casey Roehl with you alongside Sam Wexler. We'll be back to join more and much more to talk about with the game yesterday, along with previewing tonight's matchup against Illinois State while recapping the 10 years of four Indiana seniors, John Cristiano, Jack Jordan, along with Cameron McNamara and Joseph Stebbins tonight, the final games they play in Bloomington on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show coming your way next on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. Back in Bloomington, the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show with Indiana taking on Illinois State, the final game of the regular season. Casey Roehl with you alongside Sam Wexler. Partner, Indiana kept its regionals hopes alive yesterday with a 4-3 win against the Redbirds. And today it's Joseph Stebbins, a senior goaltender, starting off exactly where he left off last season, a chance to do exactly what they missed out on, which is to make a regionals appearance. But before we talk a little bit about the specifics on what needs to happen, as you take a look at these final 60 minutes on the ice here at the Frank for four graduating seniors, what's the first thing that jumps to mind?
It's going to be a moment and a game where Indiana, the players, have to make sure their head are in the game. They need to make sure they're focused because this is a crucial 2 points they have to pick up. And not only is it senior night, it's the final game of the regular season, which means the entire postseason is riding on this 60 minutes of hockey this evening.
Indiana moved to 5-0 all-time against Illinois State, but all the other moving factors that Indiana needed to take place, it didn't happen last night. Xavier blew out Louisville 6-1 in Louisville yesterday, and Ryder defeated Delaware 7-6, the two teams ahead of Indiana for what would be one of the final regional playoff spots. So Indiana needs to sweep today, but in order for it to be a near complete factor for Indiana to make it in, a lot of other things have to happen too.
A lot of moving parts, as you said, Casey, and some folks will be frustrated if they don't understand the ranking system. Xavier ahead of Indiana, even though Indiana beat Xavier at the Athletic Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, just outside. It's sort of like the BCS for college football playoffs back in the day when they had the bowl system and the numbers. It's all about crunching the numbers and data. And as Coach Newman said, who knows where that computer is running the numbers? We have to focus on the ice ahead of us.
There's a lot of numbers, and there are a lot more moving parts that come into play. We'll step aside when we return. We talk with some of the numbers that will be forever remembered here at the Frank. Number 20 and number 35, John Cristiano and Joseph Stebbins playing their final game here at the Frank. We'll talk with Cristiano, a senior forward, on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show after this timeout. The Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University program preview show continues with Indiana getting set to take on Illinois State, the final game of the regular season and the final home game for four graduating seniors for Indiana. Captain Jack Jordan along with John Cristiano, Cameron McNamara, and Joseph Stebbins. We were joined by McNamara and Jordan yesterday on our pregame show. Two of four graduating seniors. We're joined by the final two graduating senior in the 2020 class. We'll start things off with forward John Cristiano joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show. John, your final game here at the Frank. You've been one of the four guys who have played for 4 seasons with this team. There have been a lot of ups, there have been a lot of downs, but as you reflect on your 4 years wearing the cream and crimson, what's been the biggest thing that you'll remember for the rest of your life?
I don't know, probably just, spending some of the best times of my life with my teammates, and this program's come a long way from the time I was a freshman here, and I'm just really excited to see where it continues to go in the future.
Cameron McNamara yesterday was talking about how there were a couple bad Indiana programs he was on his freshman and sophomore campaigns last season, and Andrew Newman's first year with the program as the permanent head coach. The team finished one spot out of a regional berth, which would have been its first since 2009. being able to feel what a winning culture is like with Indiana last year and having that replicated again this season, how much has that enhanced your ability to really enjoy playing with the program?
Oh yeah, I mean it makes it a lot better. I think if you ask any of the guys on the team, they'll say they like winning a lot more than losing. And coming off those tough first seasons, it's really been nice to have some success these last two. And we're in a similar spot this year as we were last year. We're right on the edge of regionals, and these are two big games this weekend. Hopefully to try and push us over that edge.
Your parents are in attendance tonight here at the Frank, and you mentioned the regional push. Indiana has one final chance to make its appeal to the committee that they deserve a spot in the Southeast Regional in Southern Jersey. With an opponent like Illinois State, who has yet to beat Indiana, and with a team that Andrew Newman has mentioned is really good on paper but isn't the best when you take a look at them, how do you maintain your emotions and keep them in check as you get ready for today? There's a lot going on, especially with it being the last weekend and everything, but you just got to focus on the game and, focus on what you can do to give your team the best chance to win. So, taking a look at today, the final time you step out onto the ice as a player here at the rink, when you go out onto the ice for the first time, what's the one thing that you want to remember most about the program outside of the teammates and some of the other memories you've made with your camaraderie over these last 4 years?
I think the thing I'll probably remember the most is just how we've been able to get better every year, and now we're in a pretty decent spot. So, I'll probably just remember I don't want to say come up, but the improvement that we've had over the last 4 years.
Coming from Michigan, and basically University of Michigan's backyard, to Indiana, which isn't exactly known as a national hotbed for hockey and for hockey fans. As you've experienced 4 seasons of the culture in Indiana with hockey, what are some of the things that immediately jump out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Indiana is definitely not a traditional hockey hotbed, but I've been surprised. I've had fun. There's definitely some support for hockey here, and all the guys here really love it. So,
as you get ready for not only the final game, but as you get ready for graduation in May, what are some of the things that you've taken away from not only your development on the ice, but development as somebody who's getting ready to enter the adult world after the school system's over?
Well, I mean, yeah, Indiana's been huge for me in preparing me for the real world, and I'm sure if you ask all the other seniors, a lot of them would probably say they're not quite ready yet either. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to graduating and moving on to the next step. But I've always enjoyed my time here as well.
Indiana forward John Cristiano joining us in the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show. Hopefully looking forward to tonight's matchup, the final game here at the Frank in his Indiana hockey career, with lots on the line this season, with regionals 2.5 weeks away and the TSCHL tournament 2 weeks away as well. JC, it's been a privilege getting to watch you these last 3 seasons. Best of luck in the final matchup of the regular season, and best of luck with all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Casey.
We'll step aside. When we return, we talk with tonight's starting goaltender Joseph Stebbins, playing his final game in the Cream and Crimson sweater, along with Indiana head coach Andrew Newman as he breaks down the matchup tonight against the Redbirds on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. Back in Bloomington, the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show rolls on, with Indiana getting set to honor 4 seniors tonight on Senior Day against Illinois State. After a 4-3 win for Indiana yesterday, they look to sweep the Redbirds in the season finale while sending 4 seniors out on top for the final time in beatdown. Casey Roehl with you, joined by tonight's starting goaltender for Indiana and one of 4 of the aforementioned graduating seniors in Joseph Stebbins. Joe, over a span of 3 years, it seems like we've done 1,000 of these pregame interviews either at home or on the road, but as you get ready to take the ice here at the Frank for the final time, there's got to be 100 emotions going through your head. What are the first couple that really jump out to you?
I'm a pretty emotional guy. I kind of like to wear my heart on my sleeve a lot, and there's a lot of things that, kind of like you said, there's a lot of things that kind of go through your mind, especially when you're playing your final game at home. I just want to first of all, give a shout out to all the guys, all the seniors when I was a freshman, everybody that's been a part of this program that, made it what it is. It's been night and day since when I first got here, going from under 500 seasons, back-to-back years. and then, turning it around last year. And I think last year was kind of the turning point, especially when we swept Adrian. That was kind of like the, oh, here we go moment. We got a lot of really good talent here. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing is that all the players that have come and kind of made, my time here at IU special. And, there's a lot of things that, I can't really put into words. But aside from that, I think just the memories and the friendships that I've made here and, overall the progress that we've made since I've gotten here, I think that's kind of the biggest thing that I'll take away from this for sure.
Talking with Cameron McNamara yesterday before his start against Illinois State, his final start at the Frank, he had mentioned that all the emotions he had coming up to the week were ones that he was able to reflect on negatively, positively, some in the middle. But when game time hit, he had just mentioned the first game he had ever played here at the Frank. As you take a look back to your first ever game at this rink a few years ago as a freshman to now, what are some of the biggest differences that you've noticed with not only your progression as a hockey player, but as somebody starting to grow up and getting ready to enter the adult system out of college and out of the school system?
I think the biggest thing is just kind of stopping and smelling the roses. When I started playing goalie, I kind of embraced the whole aspect of winning a game and everything was all fun and games. And once when I got older, I realized how much pressure comes with playing goalie, and I don't think many people understand that unless they've played the position. And especially now that I've gotten older, I kind of cherish a win, a little bit more. I go out with some friends afterwards. I kind of celebrate the little things that kind of make something as special as playing for IU. And I just like doing that a lot. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing. And I'm trying to come up with the right words to put it together because a lot of thoughts are going through my mind right now. But I just think the biggest thing tonight is just enjoying my time that I've had here. I've got a really good group of seniors with me, just with me, John, Jack Jordan, and Cam McNamara. They've all taught me so much, and, they've definitely led me to be a better person. And, I can't thank them enough for what they've done for me.
Talking about this season earlier before the year began and about the emotions going through the pregame start for seasons and before each game, your mother, Paula, was supposed to be going to each game this year. She was at the Michigan State Series last season. As you get ready to see your parents in the stands for the final time in regular season play, what were the conversations with them leading up to this weekend?
We didn't really talk about the games too much. We're just kind of focusing on kind of seeing each other. My sister lives down in Atlanta, and she's up here as well. So that's pretty cool to see. She doesn't really get to see me play hockey a lot because when she was down at Alabama, she was playing volleyball. So our schedules kind of conflicted a little bit. But, overall, I think the biggest message is that, nothing's, tomorrow's never guaranteed. And, obviously seeing each other, I think that's kind of the biggest thing. And, hopefully I can just kind of give them a show that they've given so much time for me for. And I know that they're pretty proud to see me out there for sure.
Indiana starting goaltender Joseph Stebbins joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show before tonight's matchup against Illinois State in the season finale for Indiana for the 2019-20 season. Joseph, you mentioned that there's no tomorrow guaranteed. For Indiana, they want to play tomorrow in regards to regionals, something they haven't done since 2009, the year after they made it to a national championship. For you being on a team last season that came one spot shy of making that first regionals berth, what's been the added motivation for you as you get ready for this final start, which could ultimately indicatively choose and decide who makes it and who doesn't go home?
I think the motivation comes from the guys last year. We were all kind of in the same boat, obviously going from seasons that were under 500 and kind of lackluster. So I don't want their work to go unnoticed. I want to obviously show that we've been on the up and up, and it's definitely something that's kind of started before the season even began. And I just kind of want to use them as the motivation to kind of get us that one spot away from regionals.
Since the Michigan State Series last February on the road, in the spring semester against ranked opponents, you're 5-1 with the goals against of just over 2.1 and a save percentage of .932. When the spring semester starts getting into action and when the big regionals run starts really kicking into high gear, what's allowed you to kick it into that extra notch?
I like to think of the pressured moments. I just kind of, I kind of get in my own head sometimes, and that might not be some good things, but apparently the numbers don't really lie of that one. So I would definitely have to say just the pressure in the moment. Obviously it's just kind of do or die, and that's something that I kind of like to do. I kind of like to, give my team the saves that they need to, get that extra goal or get that extra rush down the ice and make the saves that I'm not supposed to. And I think that's what makes a great goalie. And hopefully I can do that here tonight and get us a win today.
Talking with Jack Jordan yesterday, the first two-time captain for Indiana since joining the Division II classification in 2014. He had mentioned that the culture with this program has changed since Andrew Newman took over, and that there were a lot of bad teams he had been on in his first 2 seasons with the program. As you reflect on your first 2 seasons and these last 2 seasons with Newman ultimately revitalizing the way Indiana hockey has been since the decade turned, what's the first thing that jumps out about Newman and how he's been able to completely change the way the program's been perceived across the country?
I would definitely have to say just like the systems that he kind of brought with us. I'd be lying if I said we were the most talented team in all of college hockey. I think that's kind of the biggest thing, is that we all bought into his system. We all believed in him, and he believed in us. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing. We gave him 110%, and the goals we score might not be the prettiest. They might not be on SportsCenter, but the way that he kind of orchestrates our offense and our power play, especially on our defensive side as well, and our breakout, I think that's kind of the biggest thing, and that's what it takes for a team like us to beat some of the better opponents out there.
Indiana looks to defeat the number 12 team in the Central Region in Illinois State to go to 6-0 all-time against the Redbirds, while also maintaining its regionals hopes alive in the final day of regular season play in Bloomington and on senior night at Frank Southern Ice Arena. One of 4 seniors in Joseph Stebbins joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show before his final start here at the Franken Beatdown. Joseph, it's been a pleasure getting to watch you play these last 3 seasons. Best of luck before graduation. Same with your parents, and nothing but the best endeavors for you as you get ready for your professional career.
Hey, you as well, Casey. Don't forget me when you go pro, all right?
Never. I never will. Never will. We'll step aside when we return. We talk with Indiana head coach Andrew Newman to break down the last matchup of the season against ISU, along with a reflection on all 4 seniors graduating this weekend and this season to close out their campaigns at the Frank on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. Moments away from opening puck drop between Indiana and Illinois State, the final game of the regular season for Indiana, and a final game at Frank Southern Ice Arena for 4 graduating seniors in Jack Jordan, John Cristiano, Cameron McNamara, and Joseph Stebbins. Casey Roehl with you back in the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show, joined by a former Indiana hockey product and current Indiana head coach in Andrew Newman. Coach, there's been a lot of culture that's been implemented by the 4 graduating seniors who are celebrating their final games tonight. Cameron McNamara net yesterday came up big late in the 4-3 win against Illinois State. As you take a look back at the 4 of those men's careers with the program, what are the first couple things that come to mind?
Just how far they've come within the program. When they started here, there was definitely a rough patch in Indiana hockey, and then just as far as they've come with the leadership that they've shown throughout their careers here, it's been great to see and turn this program around to a winning program again.
Talking with all 4 seniors throughout today and yesterday, they had mentioned the culture and how the culture had changed from 2 seasons ago with the old coaching staff and the interim coaching staff that you were on, to you being the guy last season and you being the guy for year number 2 this year. As you reflect on how big all 4 of them have been to transforming the culture to how you want to run the program, how essential have they been to mentoring some of the younger guys on the team?
It's hard to even quantify how important they've been to this program on and off the ice. They're all absolutely leaders. They all take this program and playing hockey, even though it's at the club level, they take it very, very seriously. They put in the time, the effort, the hard work it takes to have a successful program, and they've been an integral part in making this program a winning program again.
Indiana head coach Andrew Newman joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show before tonight's matchup against ISU. Coach, you mentioned a winning program. Indiana, with a win tonight, has a chance to maintain its regionals hopes for what would be the first time this decade and since the team joined the Division II classification. As you get ready for tonight's game, how do you make sure that the locker room's emotions are in check, knowing that for some of the younger guys, it's the final time they'll play here in front of their seniors and with some of the parents here in town, and also coupling the fact that this could potentially be the biggest game the program's faced since you became head coach a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it's absolutely tough to maintain emotions and keep this group level-headed, but as we've talked about before, we've been in a win-now situation for the past 5 games now, and this heading into our 6th. So we've been able to keep a level head throughout this entire thing. understanding that, hey, we don't have that luxury of being able to slip up a game or not have our best day. We've got to come with our best stuff every time we hit the ice together, and hopefully we're able to do that again today and pull out a win here.
Since Indiana was swept against Miami in the first weekend of the spring semester, they allowed the first goal of a game yesterday against Illinois State. The Redbirds had taken a 2-0 lead in the first 5 minutes. What allowed the team to click and change the game's complexion in the last 35 minutes?
Well, to be quite honest, we just came out flat and didn't play that first period. We didn't do a lot of the things that contribute to winning hockey. That's what I went in the locker room and told the guys that we've got to start playing winning hockey again and doing the right things. Something that we were very much lacking in the first period. We came out that second period with a little bit more fire, a little bit more pep in our step. Able to get a couple lucky ones, definitely a couple lucky bounces. But hey, we'll take them however we can get them. Those two bounces provided us a lot of energy, and we were able to feed off that and just keep going through the second and third period.
With Illinois State being ranked the highest that they've been ranked since the series began 2 years ago, what immediately jumped out to you about the Redbirds' style of play in yesterday's game? Oh,
their speed. I've been talking about it all weekend. It was quite a drastic shift from last year when we played these guys. I don't know what they're putting in the water over there, but those guys have wheels, and if we're not careful, they can use that speed and burn us. So if we don't play our game, keep the puck in their zone as much as possible, it's going to turn into another tough game.
It seemed like yesterday for the first period and a half that ISU was essentially living in the attacking zone, utilizing the forecheck and working the boards. What changed in the final third period, and what allows this Indiana program to possibly combat the speed and on the forecheck in today's game?
Yeah, a lot of it's just getting the puck deep, and then playing our systems correctly. If we have a high guy in our zone, prevent them from getting a lot of speed up through the neutral zone, then we're doing well. And then a lot of it has to do with our guys back checking. If our guys are back checking hard, then that eliminates a lot of their speed, and it eliminates a lot of the odd man rushes that they get with that speed. So if we're back checking hard, we've got a third guy high in the forecheck. Those should be things that should really slow them down. And then again, keeping the puck deep in their zone. Obviously, if they're in the defensive zone, they can't use that speed to hurt us. So hopefully we're able to do those things again today for all 3 periods and not just 40 minutes of the game. And hopefully we come out with a win.
Indiana head coach Andrew Newman joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show before today's matchup against Illinois State. Coach, last season this team was in the exact same spot it's in right now, essentially one spot away from making regionals. They were on the road against Michigan State last season when Joseph Stebbins came up big in the final game on the road. He's got the final game today in the regular season. How has his progression allowed him to mature and develop into such a top-tier goalie from when you first took over as a member of the assistant coaching staff when he was a sophomore to now in his final regular season game as a senior?
Just his mentality's changed. His competitive fire has, it knows no bounds anymore. He wants to be the best. He wants to be the guy that goes out there and wins us a game, and he gives us a great opportunity anytime he steps on the ice, and we're expecting him to come up big again today.
Indiana with Joseph Stebbins in goal since the spring semester of last season when he faces a ranked opponent is 5-1. He looks to make it 6-1 in his final regular season start as a member of the Indiana hockey program. Indiana head coach Andrew Newman joining us to chat about the matchup today against Illinois State. Coach, good luck against the Redbirds, and hopefully the numbers fall in Indiana's favor after this weekend comes to an end.
Thanks, Casey.
We'll step aside when we take a look back at the Indiana pregame show coverage. We'll take a look at our starting lineups, deep pairings, and our net-minding matchup between ISU and Indiana on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. Back in Bloomington, moments away from opening puck drop between Indiana and Illinois State, the final game of the regular season and the final game for 4 graduating seniors for Indiana at Frank Southern Ice Arena. Casey Roehl with you back in the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show. Let's take a look at our starters. First for Illinois State, their 4-game win streak came to an end last night. They stride into play today with a 17-6 mark, the number 2 team in the Mid-America Collegiate Hockey Association. Same starting 5 as last night. Connor Tully centers line 1. Sam Braun starts at left wing, and Trevor Barrett starts at right wing. Will Whalen starts at left defense, and Dylan Lothar starts at right defense, all in front of Andrew Meyer. His 5-game winning streak came to an end in yesterday's loss. He faced 23 shots and made 19 saves, a 4-3 defeat. For Indiana, they're starting 5 with a record of 14-9-1-1. They've won 5 consecutive games. Jack Jordan, the senior captain, centers the top line. Cade Kenyon starts at left wing. John Cristiano, one of two of 4 seniors, starts at right wing. Will Patton and Aiden Goodfellow, the D pairing, all in front of Joseph Stebbins, making his final start in Bloomington, a record of 5-4 over 9 games played. He's won 4 of his last 5 games in the spring semester. We'll step aside. We'll keep it right here for the presentation of our senior honorees and our awards right out to center ice at Frank Southern Ice Arena on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show on the Indiana Hockey Broadcast Network. Back inside Frank Southern Ice Arena, final 7.5 minutes before the final puck drop of the season at the Frank and in the regular season. Casey Roehl with you alongside Sam Wexler from the Crossroads of America. Time now to take a look at our starting lineups, defensive pairings, and our net-minding matchup. First for Illinois State, they saw their 4-game winning streak come to an end last night. A record of 17-6, 10-2 in the Mid-America Collegiate Hockey Association. Same starting 5 as yesterday for fifth-year head coach Michael Hernbrandt's side. The fifth consecutive straight game, they've thrown out the same starting lineup of Connor Tully, Sam Braun, and Trevor Barrett, along with Will Whalen and Dylan Lothar on the blue line. Andrew Meyer, who saw his 5-game win streak come to an end, starts in net. He's ranked top 20 nationally in save percentage, goals against average, and in shutouts. He looks to pick up the first ever win for Illinois State against Indiana since the all-time series began 2 seasons ago. Now at the starting lineup for Indiana, here's Sam.
Thanks, Casey. In net is Joseph Stebbins, the senior, who was just honored alongside you, Casey, for senior night. The defensemen are Will Patton on the left side and Aiden Goodfellow on the right. The wingers, the forward line, is as follows from left to right. Cade Kenyon, number 16 on the left. The captain, number 8, Jack Jordan, in the center. And on the right wing is number 20, John Cristiano.
Indiana looks to go 6-0 all-time against ISU with a sweep this weekend, and they look to keep their regional hopes alive in what would be their first appearance since 2009. It's Indiana, it's Illinois State, it's senior night in Bloomington, and it's the final game of the 2019-20 regular season. You ready? We're ready. How you living? How you doing? Opening puck drop coming your way next between Indiana and ISU. You've been listening to the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University pregame show on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. The final run for regionals begins tonight, and for the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University program, it's the final chance for 4 graduating seniors to make their everlasting mark on the Indiana hockey program. Glad you can join us. Casey Roehl with you alongside Sam Wexler, ringside from Frank Southern Ice Arena. For the final time this season, Indiana enters play with a 5-game win streak, 1 spot shy of making its first regionals appearance since 2009, and they're doing it against a familiar opponent in Illinois State. Indiana 5-0 all-time against the Redbirds after a 4-3 win last night in the series opener less than 15 hours ago. Let's take a look at our starting lineups and defensive pairings. First, for the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University program, a record of 14-9-1-1, the number 13 team in the Southeast Regional. The senior line starts to begin. Jack Jordan, the 2-time captain, joined alongside fellow senior John Cristiano. Cade Kenyon starts at left wing. Aiden Goodfellow and Will Patton start as the defensemen. For Illinois State, Connor Tully along with Will Whalen, Sam Braun, joined on the back line by Nico Castino, Shane Ronan, all in front of Andrew Meyer. Off the face-off, it's controlled by ISU. They control from right to left as you listen. Off the tie-up, shot by Ronan, gloved by Stebbins to stop play. 6 seconds into the first, no score, Indiana and ISU.
Casey, one thing that helped Cam McNamara, the goaltender, last night for Indiana was when he got some touches on the puck, some easy shots to block, he got his head into the game. And that's what we're seeing with Joe Stebbins right there. Another easy shot to save.
Face off to Stebbins. Left, Indiana controls. Kenyon left point. Swats the puck on goal. And Meyer plays the second bounce. Throws the glove on top. The 6'2" freshman goaltender size 5-game win streak come to an end yesterday. Over the last 7 games for Meyer, goals against of just under 2.5, taking on Stebbins, who's won 5 of his last 6 matchups against ranked opponents. Face off to Myers right. Indiana controls. Jordan right goal line. Plays the tumbling puck toward the end dasher. Coupling out with a couple ISU skaters. Cristiano pitchforks the puck toward the goal line. Rolls out to the right half dasher. Goodfellow swats it toward the goal line. Castino whips it down to near point. It rolls in the trapezoid. Jordan first to it. Spins past a couple defenders. Broad picks it up for the Redbirds. He flips it toward the goal line. Clashes off a couple sticks. And he flips it down the far boards to Barrett. 45 seconds into period 1. No score, Indiana and ISU. Line changes made by both sides with the Redbirds controlling into the E zone. Ronan lost the puck. Offenbach, right circle. He fakes. He dekes. A shot on goal deflected. Puck is loose. Kissel shot. And it's gloved by Meyer on the second deflection. A turnover in the defensive zone. Offenbach from the right circle dipped his way into the slot. Kissel had a secondary rebound chance, but Meyer, who's won 5 of his last 6 road games, he makes the first big stop of the game to keep it scoreless 56 seconds in.
Casey, we saw a lot of puck luck and weird bounces last night. I expect a lot of the same.
Draw comes to Myers left. Offenbach taking it against Castino. Off the tie-up, Offenbach controls right point. Tadaro wrister deflected. Here comes Ronan. Possible breakaway for ISU. In the slot, goes to a backhand. His wrister deflected. Puck batted in the air in the slot. It rolls to the left circle. Batted down by Kissel for Indiana. 1:10 seconds into the first. We remain scoreless. Puck battle in the Indiana D zone. Right circle, Ronan slap pass to McKellen. Back behind the goal. Stebbins swats it toward the trapezoid. Rolling left circle. Ronan scales his way up to the left half dasher. To the point. Canceled out by Offenbach. ISU maintains his zone momentarily. Sure. It rolls out to center. Jack Kissel swats it to the near dasher. And it's Tadaro flipping it to center. 1.5 into period 1. No score, Indiana and Illinois State. The Cream and Crimson outscoring opponents 91-49 since Andrew Newman took over in Bloomington last season. Delayed offside, Indiana controls into the E zone. James Georgiou, the lefty D-man, circle-to-circle pass. Champel flips it from the red line. Bouncing puck, loved by Whalen, back into the E zone. Rink white pass down the right boards. David Flynn flips out to center. Intercepted by Christian Champel for Indiana, one of 13 freshmen finishing out their first regular seasons. 2 minutes into period 1, no score, Indiana and ISU. The Redbirds 0-5 against the Cream and Crimson all time. Jack Null for Indiana, right circle, bottom of the goal line, centering feed, batted by Schur, rolls behind the net. Illinois State with Michael McKellen, the active leader in goals against Indiana with 3. Hands off to Dan Quagliata at center. He filters the puck down the right boards. McDaniel for Indiana first to pick up. 2.5 into period 1. No score, Indiana and ISU. Champel for Indiana, all alone. Left circle. His wrister gloved by Meyer. Low pad save on his left side. And that halts action with 17:22 to go in the first. We remain scoreless.
Casey, a lot of high-flying action. One thing that Indiana had success and what brought them success last night was the physical play, wearing down their opponent. 3 guys battling flu-like symptoms this weekend and other guys beaten up and battered around. They've got to keep up the physical play.
Face off to Myers right. Indiana controls. McDaniel, lefty D-man from the left circle. His wrister flung wide, blocker side. Indiana on the forecheck controls. Carter Bonecutter left goal line. One of 4 goal scorers for Indiana. Hands off Hubbard right circle. Centering feed, back door underneath of Scharf's stick. The native of Update, New Jersey, flips it behind the net to Bonecutter. Looking middle. Centering feed, batted by Sure, and it pinballs out to center. 3 minutes into period 1. Indiana and ISU scoreless. The 6th all-time meeting between both schools, the 4th all-time matchup in Bloomington. Indiana with Fitzgerald, right point, wrister deflected. Hubbard, the shot, close angle, deflected off the chest of Meyer, rolls left circle and toward the goal line. Picked up by Braun for ISU, flips it off the right circle. It's kicked by Hubbard toward the goal line, and it's Danny Quagliata filtering to himself at the right dot. Forecheck for Indiana. Hubbard behind the net. Looking middle, holds in the backhand. Twists the puck toward the cage. Deflected off the side of the net. Jack Shadle picks it up for the Redbirds and guns it to center. 16:20 to go in the opening frame. Icing is called. The puck goes from right to left, unabated at center. And a faceoff comes in the Indiana attacking third.
Last night, Casey, Indiana gave up 2 quick goals in the first period, and part of that was them allowing Illinois State so much time on the attack. Elongated periods where Illinois State was throwing shots on left and right, and McNamara couldn't get a breath of fresh air.
Faceoff comes to Myers right. Jack Jordan playing his final home game with Indiana takes the faceoff against Connor Tully, the freshman from York, Pennsylvania. A quick change for Michael Hernbrott's side. Jack Shadle skates off. Will Whalen skates in. Off the tie-up, Indiana controls. Scharf left half dasher at the hash mark. Pinned off the puck. Rolling toward the point. Batted out by ISU to center. Just under 4 minutes into period 1, Indiana and ISU scoreless. Left circle, Quagliata fakes. He waits. He shoots off of a sprawling Goodfellow at the left circle. Puck battle behind the net. Illinois State with Shadle. Falls to the ice. Chipped off the high glass by Kissel. Kept in left point by Kelly. He flips it behind the goal. Stebbins for Indiana. Plays traffic cop with Patton for the Cream and Crimson. Flipping it to the right circle. Forecheck on by ISU. They keep the puck right point. Shadle wrister deflected. Stebbins used his pad to direct it toward the left goal line. 15:40 left in period 1. No score, Indiana and ISU. The Cream and Crimson from left to right as you listen. Their white sweaters, crimson lettering and numbering. ISU, the road blacks with white and red trim. Quagliata, the senior out of Bartlett, Illinois, the hometown of one of 4 Indiana seniors, Cameron McNamara. Stretch pass out to center, glove down by David Flynn. Left circle, centering feed, one-timer, Shadle. Deflected wide blocker side. Another shot short side by Quagliata. Blocked on the way by Stebbins. It rolls to the left hash dasher, and it's ISU maintaining the zone. Right wide pass Kelly, right point, slap shot, deflected in the slot, batted toward the right circle. Quagliata digs it out. His wrister flung wide through the slot. Flynn unable to maintain the zone. It pinballs out to center. 5 minutes into period 1, Indiana and ISU scoreless. The Cream and Crimson fighting for its regional's life tonight. Castino dips and dangles past a man, unable to get past Vladislav Cruz. He scored 1 of 4 Indiana goals last night, a team leading 13 on the year. Colin Fitzgerald, a junior alternate for Indiana, works it out to center. The lefty D-man dips past man. He gets to the attacking zone right side. At the circle, his wrister blocked. It's batted up into the air. He chases his miss. Right half dasher. His shot deflected high off the glass. Rolling toward the left circle. ISU maintains the puck out to center. Michael McKellett, the junior, dips and dangles past a man. Right circle, centering feed. Deflected off of Fitzgerald's left skate. And Indiana controls with Offenbach. He flips it off the high wall out to center. Just under 6 minutes into period 1. No score, Indiana and ISU. Shot by Cruz at neutral, easily turned aside by Meyer. Illinois State looks for its first all-time win against Indiana and its first win against a TSCHL opponent. 0-4 all-time against the T. McKellen for ISU in a defending zone, flips to center underneath of Nico Castino's stick, swatted by Champel toward the center ice logo, and it's ISU from right to left controlling. Andrew Meyer from the red line. His wrister stick down by Fitzgerald. He gazelles his way to the attacking zone right circle. At the half dasher. Backhand feed to Null. Wrister batted in the air. Glove down by Trevor Lawrence. And he bangs it from right to left. ISU on side. Right circle. Radke backhander over the crossbar. Rolling toward the far side. Shane Ronan plays the puck left goal line. Veering his way to the left half dasher. Centering feed. Back to a post. Underneath of Radke's skates. And Indiana with Cruz. Filters out to center ice. 13:15 to go in the first. Indiana and Illinois State scoreless to begin play. Sam Braun, left goal line, stapled to the wall by Todaro. He spins past one man, unable to get past Fitzgerald. He filters out to center, Jack Null. Possible for odd man rush for Indiana, 2-on-1. Null right circle, his wrister, he scores! Jack Null, bar down, Indiana strikes first. 7 minutes into period one, and on senior night, one of 13 freshmen puts Indiana up first. Back-to-back goals for Null. He's got 6 on the season, and unlike last night, it's Indiana taking the early lead.
How about that, Casey? An improbable shot that went bar down, top shelf, and in soccer that would be called upper 90, Casey.
Jack Null, the team leader in penalty minutes. The first time all season he's scored in back-to-back games. Face-off at center, ISU controls. Quagliano right circle. Whips it to the goal line. Colin Fitzgerald gets the lone assist on the goal. Puck battle at center. Sharp for Indiana. Gains the line. Right circle. High slot. His wrister deflected off a skate. Pinballs into the ceiling just above us. And that stops action. 12:41 to go in the first. Indiana on top 1-0. When scoring first this season, Indiana's 12-1. That's the best mark in the TSCHL. When allowing the first goal, ISU is 0-5. Face off to Myers left. The Redbirds control. David Flint down to near wall in the defending zone. Flips the puck far boards. Indiana maintains the zone on a forecheck. Hubbard left circle. Pitchforks the puck to Bonecutter. Stapled to the wall. Prods it free. He's got it back behind the net. Holds in the backhand. Centering pass. Deflected off of Flynn's backhand. And it's ISU the other way from right to left. Barrett, right circle. Wrister turned aside by Stebbins in the butterfly. And Bonecutter digs it out for Indiana. The freshman out of Leo, Indiana. That's just outside Fort Wayne. Puck battle at center. Bonecutter the lefty forward. Left point. Wrister wide glove side of Meyer. Sharp for Indiana first to it. Chips it behind Meyer. Dug out by Kelly for ISU with both teams making a moderate change. 8 minutes into period one. Indiana strikes first. They are on top 1-0. Patton backhands to center underneath of Jordan's stick. Icing washed. Jordan first to it. He takes a shoulder hit behind the net. Indiana the forecheck controls point left. Kenyon pitchforks the puck off the high wall. Hands off to Kissel. Left up. His wrister glove by Meyer. The butterfly to stop play. 11:38 to go in the first. 1-0 Indiana top of Illinois State as we step aside from Frank Southern Ice Arena. You're listening to Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. $11:35 to go in the first. 1-0 lead for Indiana. Face off to Andrew Myers right to resume playing the Indiana attacking zone. The Cream and Crimson control. Jordan centering feed in the high slot off of Cade Kenyon's stick, and it's swatted up by Michael McKellen to Joseph Stebbins left. The lone goal scored by Jack Null to begin play. His 6th of the season. He scored in back-to-back games. Puck battle at center. McKellen for ISU, the active leader in goals against Indiana. He's got 3. He scored 1 of 3 Illinois State goals in last night's loss. Puck battle down to near boards, down the right half dasher. Jordan back toward the net, filters into the slot, the attacking third. Pass Jack Kissel's stick, it pinballs to center. McKellen, stick check by McDaniel, hands off to Kissel. Gains the line, left circle, holds in the backhand at the dot. His wrister turned aside. Meyer throws his body on top to stop action. 10:50 left in the first. Indiana leads early, 1-0.
Casey, from a broadcaster and spectator's point of view, it seems the game's pace is faster today, which is something we really didn't expect considering this is a very quick turnaround for Illinois State.
15 and a half hours after game one concluded last night, Indiana closes out its regular season today. Face off to Myers right. Illinois State controls. Shadle whipping his way out to center. Dances past a man, whips it to the slotted area. Batted by Krusch. It rolls back behind Meyer. Puck battle in the trapezoid. Cameron Huey, a co-captain, down to near wall. Flips it off the high glass. Underneath Tadaro's skate blade. Crisis averted. Offenbach first to it for Indiana. He guns it out to center. Batted by Braun out to the near boards and into the mesh. 10:17 left in period one. Indiana leads 1-0. A complete juxtaposition from yesterday when ISU jumped out to an early 2-0 lead in the first 5 minutes. It's Indiana having the only goal just under the halfway point to go in this first.
The script is flipped, Casey. Hopefully Indiana can keep their foot on the gas.
Face off at neutral ice down to near boards. Indiana controls. Goodfellow out to center. Gains the line right circle. Holds on the backhand. Centering feed into the slot. Crucia's shot deflected off of a bad angle. And it's Huey for ISU flipping to Castino. He jets across the red line. Gains the right circle. Centering feed deflected off of Logan's stick. Check save made by Stebbins. He punches it toward the far boards. And we get a whistle and a stoppage in play. Is it an offside or a penalty? As of right now, it's looking like the net came off of its moorings down the right boards. 10 minutes gone in period one. Indiana leads 1-0 with a face-off coming to Stebbins' left. Off the tie-up, Indiana controls Patton. Whips it out to center underneath of Shadle's stick, and Indiana controls the attacking third. Offenbach, the lefty forward, stops at the hash mark. Lobs it toward the goal line. Ronan intercepts for ISU. The Redbirds in their black jerseys, white and red trim. Indiana white sweaters with crimson trim. ISU from right to left. Nathan Radke, the sophomore D-man. High slot, stick check by Champel. Rolls out to center. Flipped over towards Hitzler. He guns it across the line. Right circle. Ronan, his wrister, wide over the crossbar. It caroms toward the left point. Null, one hands out to center ice. 9:20 to go in period one. Indiana leads 1-0. They've scored first in 3 of its last 4 home games at the Frank. Connor Tully collides with Flynn. Indiana intercepts. Champel, high slot, right circle, holds. He waits. He shoots. Wide blocker side of Meyer. Rolls to the left circle. On the backhand. No shot. Deflected over the crossbar. Champel picks it up. Holds top of the right circle. Hands off to Fitzgerald. Right point. Wrister deflected. And it's Kelly lobbing it down the near side. Indiana in the defending zone with Champel. Works it to the blue line. Now out to the red with Null. Pitchforking the puck back behind Meyer. Indiana makes a change.
Casey, part of the reason this game is so much faster than last night is the ice is dry. It looks like it is frozen completely compared to the swamp we had last night.
8.5 to go in the first. 1-0 Indiana. McKellen, high slot for ISU. His wrister off of Stebbins' chest, rolling behind the nets. Centering feed by Huey. Intercepted by Shabazz. He saunters out to center. Scharf takes a hit by Kelly. Couple sticks go flying, and it's ISU the other way from right to left. Castino left circle. His centering feed intercepted by Fitzgerald. He pins it to the wall, holding on a backhand. He flips it toward the red line, and Kelly guides it towards Stebbins' right and goal. 8 minutes to go in the first. Indiana on top 1-0. On senior night, one of 13 freshmen for the Cream and Crimson, and Jack Null has the only goal. Puck battle in front of the Indiana bench down the right boards. It's the Cream and Crimson with Fitzgerald lobbing out to center. Bonecutter plays the second hop. Holds in the backhand right circle. Looks to center. His pass flicked away by Kelly toward the far boards. And it's Oliver Gregg lobbing out to center. Indiana controls Fitzgerald far side. 7.5 to go in period one. 1-0 lead for Indiana. Quagliata into the zone for the Redbirds. Lost the puck in the trapezoid. Sharp right goal line. Staples the puck to the wall. He and Bonecutter two aside, scrumming for control. Kelly for ISU behind the net. Rink white pass. Quagliata centers out to center ice. Here comes Ronan. 2-on-1. Centering feed. Looking for Shadle. Deflected. And the puck bounces high up over the net down the right boards. Another odd man rush for Illinois State. A 2-on-1 break. But Indiana, resilient defense going back in the back check to prevent an easy goal.
And Casey, this is such a crucial game for Indiana. Looking at the rankings in the region for the Southeast, Indiana at 13, and they have to make it to 12 or 11 ahead of Ryder and Xavier.
7:12 to go in the first. 1-0 Indiana. Face off down the right boards in front of Andrew Newman's Indiana bench. Off the tie-up, the Cream and Crimson control. Kenyon from the red line. Wrister chested by Meyer. Skitters toward the right goal line. ISU controls down the white boards. Sham Braun. Rink white pass Castino. Gains the line high slot, and now it's called for an offside. Castino down the middle of the ice with Michael McKellen ranging his way down the right boards. He was a couple steps ahead of the junior forward. 7 minutes left in the first. Indiana leading 1-0. Face off down to near boards in front of the crowd. Jordan for Indiana takes the draw against McKellen. Now is a matchup at the dot all of last night. The linesman, Jared Bukta, holds the puck in his right hand. Looks toward Kissel and Castino down the right wing. And off the face-off, it's Jordan controlling. He backhands into the defending third with Goodfellow. Whips the puck ahead towards Jordan. Hands off Kissel. Out to Kenyon, left circle. Veering toward the left point. Patton holds, he waits, he shoots, his wrist is deflected. Puck loose left goal line. Kissel shot turned aside by Meyer. Rolling left circle. Patton levels a shoulder on the man. High slot. Kenyon, his shot deflected. Rolling right circle. Now to the point to Jordan. Veering his way past a couple Redbird defenders. Hands off right goal line. Kissel. Centering feed underneath of Jordan's stick, and it's ISU controlling from right to left. 6.5 left in period one. 1-0 lead for Indiana over ISU. Stebbins plays the roulette wheel down the far wall, rimming back behind the net. Indiana in the defending zone. Goodfellow stick check from behind by McKellen. He's in on the forecheck. Right corner. Jordan filters out to the blue line, and it's Indiana down the far boards with Goodfellow flipping a rink-wide feed to Kissel. Gaining the line right circle at the point. Dances his way past the man. Right goal line. Goes back behind the nets. Filters to Cruz left circle. His shot deflected. Rolling in the slot, and it's out to center ice. Ronan picks it up for ISU. Left circle at the dot. Top of the circles. High slot. Hands off Radke. Left circle. Wrister. Pad save by Stebbins. Rolling puck in front of the zone. And it's Radke picking up left goal line. 5.5 to go in the first. 1-0 Indiana. Oliver Logan. Left point. Wrister takes a couple caroms. Stebbins puts his stick on the puck. And it's Cruz lobbing out to center. John Cristiano. Stick check from behind by Logan, the junior for ISU. Saved another possible goal scoring chance. It remains 1-0 Indiana. 5:20 to go in the first. Dylan Lothar, right boards, stretch pass off of Offenbach's glove. ISU with Oliver Gregg. Back behind Stebbins. Line change made by Michael Hernbrott's Redbirds. 5 minutes to go in period one. 1-0 lead for Indiana. Trevor Barrett, right side, in the attacking zone for ISU at the goal line. Puts on the brakes, bottom of the right circle. Stick check free by Cristiano. One hands to Cruz. The lefty ambles across the blue line. Gains the circle right side. Shouldered off the puck by Logan. Cruz on the forecheck controls right goal line. At the hash marks. Back check by Braun. He one hands out toward the near boards, where it's Matt Logan controlling down the near wall. Indiana forecheck. Right circle Champel. Dipping his way past a couple of fenders. Stapled to the wall. Gets past a shoulder. Looks to feed Fitzgerald right point. Swatted free by Connor Tully from right to left. 4:20 to go in the first. 1-0 Indiana. The Redbirds in the attacking zone behind the net. Castino, left goal line. Walks the near boards. Twist the puck to the end dasher. Champel backhands off the wall. But on the forecheck, ISU still controls. Champel from behind, sticks it free, walks his way up the boards. Rink wide pass to Shabazz. Gains the line for Indiana. The lefty forward, left circle, Wrister. Gloved by Meyer off of his pad. He plays the carom, and that stops play. 4 minutes to go in period one. Indiana up by a 1-0 score.
Casey, this has been a strong start for Indiana. They've got to keep the pace of play up, and they've got to control how physical this game becomes. Last night wasn't as chippy as other games in league play, but it was still a physical battle.
Face off to Myers right. Bone cutter for Indiana takes the draw against Kelly, the sophomore for ISU. Staples the puck to the far wall. Quagliata rifles out to center. Goodfellow plays the bounce. Ronan on the forecheck, right circle. Gains the line. Right circle deflected. His shot deflected toward the trapezoid. ISU maintains the zone. David Flynn, left point. Fan to the wrister. Rolls underneath his stick blade from left to right. Kelly first to it for ISU. 3.5 to go in period one. Indiana leads 1-0. A Jack Null goal less than 8 minutes into the game is the lone score today. Ronan for ISU. Left hash mark. Backhands the puck behind Stebbins. A couple shoulders go flying. Stebbins sticks the puck to Hubbard down the far boards. He whips it out to center. Intercepted by Sharp. He's in for Indiana. Left circle. Bottom of the goal line. Veers toward the dot. Backhand feed to Hubbard. Rolls underneath his lefty stick. Shouldered off by a couple of Redbirds, and it's Dylan Lothar weaving his way out to center. He gains the line. High slot. Weaving his way to the net. Stick check by Fitzgerald. Clears the zone. And it's Logan filtering out in the attacking third before Kissel intercepts for Indiana. Right circle. Centering feed. Fitzgerald hits it. Deflected. The puck rolls back behind the net. It skitters into the slot, and it's ISU still controlling. It remains 1-0 Indiana. 2:40 to go. Castino, right side. Centering feed, deflected, puck back behind the net. Jordan for Indiana. One hands the puck toward the right wall, and it's Kenyon in the defending zone, clearing out to center and down from left to right. 2:25 to go in the first. 1-0 lead for Indiana. On the forecheck, Jordan left circle. Wrister, he scores! He scores! Jack Jordan bowed down! On senior night, the two-time captain puts Indiana up 2-0. 2:19 to go in the first.
Casey, what a shot. And on senior night, like you said, Jordan contributes for years and keeps putting pucks in the back of the net until the very end. And in such a crucial game where Indiana's regional playoff hopes are on the line.
So Indiana, who fell down 2-0 early yesterday, they find themselves 2-0 with 2:20 to go. Face off at center. ISU with Connor Tully. Left circle. Chip and chase toward the goal line. Heels in the back, and he goes on goal, and he scores! Just like that, Illinois State on the board. Connor Tully off the center ice face-off. Weaved his way down the left wall. Stick handled past a couple Indiana D-men. Went to a forehand backhand, and he beat Stebbins' low glove side to deposit his 5th goal of the season. And it's now 2-1 Indiana with 2:06 to go in the first.
A tough counterattack for Indiana to stop, and they got caught on their heels just a little bit. And it's now only a 1-goal margin, Casey.
Whatever you can do, I can do better, says the senior from York, Pennsylvania. Face off at center. Tully gains the line. High slot. Whips it right circle. Barrett lost the puck. In the slot. Flipped out by Goodfellow as far to the blue line. A shot by Logan. Left circle deflected. Pinballs toward the near hash mark. Krush lobs it off the glass. Scaling up the left wall. Indiana with Offenbach out to center. Gains the attacking zone, right circle, backhander, a bounce, and it's gloved by Meyer. That stops play. 1:35 to go in the first. 2-1, Indiana leads ISU.
Casey, I sure hope I don't jinx it, but we've had a lot of clean play this afternoon. No big penalties or flagrant rule breaking by either side, and Indiana has done well to stay out of the box.
3 power play chances for ISU yesterday, for 3 for Indiana as well. Face off to Meyer's left. ISU controls. Puck battle at center. David Flint flips it Quagliano right circle. Hands off to Sapuda. Weaving his way to the goal line. Sticked off the puck by Goodfellow. Rolling toward the half-dasher. Stapled up the half wall. Kelly keeps his own right point. Break white pass to Flint. Left circle. He waits. He shoots. His wrister flutters wide. Glove side of Stebbins. Rolls out right point. One-timer Kelly. Weaves through the slot. Cruz takes a shoulder down to near wall. And ISU maintains a zone. A minute to go in the first. 2-1 Indiana on top of ISU. Quagliata, right goal line. Pitchforked away by Patton. He one hands toward the left goal line, and it's ISU with Ronan falling to the ice. Indiana clears from left to right with Cristiano. 45 seconds left in the opening frame. Indiana on top 2-1. Cruz for Indiana in the attacking zone, right goal line. Works it to Null. 1 of 2 Indiana goal scorers. High slot. His snapshot deflected high off the ceiling. Off the blocker of Meyer. The 32-foot roof here at the Frank playing dividends once again. And the faceoff remains in the Indiana attacking third with 34 seconds to go in the first. Indiana maintains a 2-1 lead.
Casey, was that an obligatory nightly reference to the 32-foot roof?
You got to make at least one reference, especially on a high blocker save.
And on senior night.
And on senior night. Last time that Jack Jordan will probably see that one hit off the blocker. Face off to the right of Meyer. Indiana out to center. 25 seconds to go in the first. 2-1 Indiana. High slot. Radke for ISU. He gains the line. His wrister deflected off of a couple sticks and into the high mesh over the glass just above the 6'2" goaltender in Joseph Stebbins to halt play. 23 seconds remaining in the opening 20 minutes. Indiana leads 2-1.
Casey, that looked like a 40-yard field goal sailing with an arc.
Face off to Stebbins is right. Indiana controls no. Flips to Shabazz at center. Swats the puck into the slot to the right of Meyer. Sapuda first to play for ISU. 13 seconds to go in the first. Indiana up 2-1. Left circle, Ronan weaving his way through center for ISU in the attacking third. Falls to the ice, no penalty called, and now we get a whistle way behind the play, and we're going to get a penalty called on Indiana. Alex Shabazz sits in the box, and with 5 seconds to go in the first, Illinois State will be a man up going into the second, barring a goal to begin and to end the first. Cross-checking the call.
Casey, I believe I jinxed it.
You may have. Face-off to Stebbins' left. Indiana controls. Patton backhands to the right point, and that'll do it for period one. 2-1 lead for Indiana after the first 20 minutes. Illinois State heads into the first intermission on the power play for 1:55, but Sam Wexler, we saw a bit of the future and the presence for Indiana get on the board in that first period. Jack Null, one of 13 freshmen, got Indiana started, and it's the senior captain, Jack Jordan, putting Indiana up by 1 after the first frame.
Casey, you're right. We saw some really sweet contributions from guys on the ice. Indiana has guys that are in the lineup. They're building their confidence and their skill level. We talk about Vladislav Krush as the man with confidence, but Jack Null has emerged lately as one of the guys who is most confident on the ice and is a really prolific goal scorer when it comes down to it when he's not in the penalty box.
The goal for ISU, courtesy of Connor Tully, 30 seconds after Jordan had put Indiana up 2-0 this season when leading after the first period. Indiana at home, a perfect 9-0 when trailing after the first frame. Illinois State 1-3. We'll step aside when we return. The first period intermission report comes your way next. Indiana leading Illinois State 2-1 on senior night at Frank Southern Ice Arena. You're listening to Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. On senior night at Frank Southern Ice Arena, the Cream and Crimson on top to an early 2-1 lead over the Illinois State Redbirds. The final game at the Frank, and the final chance for Indiana to make a regional run for the first time since 2009. Glad you can join us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University first period intermission report. Casey Roehl with you. Joined by a familiar name, but a new guest, John
Yes.
Cristiano. John
Casey,
Joseph
good to see you.
Cristiano, the father of John Cristiano,
Correct.
one of 4 graduating seniors for Indiana. We talked to the parents of Cameron McNamara and Jack Jordan yesterday, so we'll go with the forward father today in John Joseph Cristiano. John, it's got to be great being back in Bloomington, am I right?
It's great. It's always good to be down here to be able to catch a couple games and enjoy getting to watch my son and the team play.
It's a special day for a couple reasons, not because Bobby Knight is back at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, but because it's also the final chance you get to watch John play here at the Frank, a place that's been one of the more interesting journeys and the interesting destinations in John's hockey career. As you reflect on his time with the program, what are some of the first things that come to mind for you?
I think, well, a couple things. I think for him to be able to get a chance to come and play in college hockey and play club hockey and walk into a group of friends and such a great group of guys, and then to watch the program grow over the last 4 years, where it came from where it was when he was a freshman to now. It seems like it's really been such a progression that's been great, and being on the cusp of perhaps making the regionals would be awesome.
For Cristiano, he's from Michigan, just outside of the University of Michigan campus.
True.
So when you got the notification that, hey, Dad, I think I want to go to Indiana University to continue my collegiate career, and also I think I'm going to want to try my hand at hockey in the Hoosier State, what was your first response a few years ago?
Really supportive, because I think it's really all about the fit and making sure that, he'd been around Ann Arbor and around the University of Michigan, so he knew that very well, and so going someplace different and forging his own legacy was something we certainly encouraged and supported.
Talking with John Cristiano earlier today, he had mentioned that the hockey culture in Indiana a bit different for multiple reasons than the Michigan, which is considered one of the more traditional hockey communities in the United States. With you having a chance to watch a game here in Bloomington over the past few seasons, what does the culture jump out to you about?
I think it's a developing culture, I guess. From what I've seen, being in the stands and seeing folks that are being exposed to hockey for the first time and enjoying the games and learning about how the game's played. Don't know really much about sort of the youth hockey programs here, but just watching the crowds that have come, and I think seeing them enjoy and starting to get into the hockey tradition and the games of hockey has been fun to watch. It's obviously a little different culture in Michigan. It's much more prevalent, I guess, as far as games and people being involved. So it's been fun to watch it grow.
John Joseph Cristiano, the father of John Cristiano, joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University First Period Intermission Report. John, you get a chance to watch your son, John, play his final game here in Bloomington, sort of a precursor to him graduating in May. As you take a look at how your son's been able to develop not only as a player but as a person getting ready to go into society, what are some things that immediately jump out to you?
Well, of course, we're very proud. It's been a long time that we've been involved in hockey, and I think a lot of who he is has been shaped by his involvement in hockey. Proud of the success that he's had and the opportunity to play at this level. Proud of him to be able to be graduating, but I think most of all just proud of the person that he is, the kind of person that he is. I think he's a kind person, and I think that he'll do good things out in the world.
John Joseph Cristiano joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University First Period Intermission Report. Mr. Cristiano, glad you can join us. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your time in Bloomington.
Thank you, Casey.
And safe travel back to Ann Arbor.
Thank you for all the time and effort that you've put into building this program and keeping us in touch when we haven't been able to be in Bloomington.
Oh, no problem. Before we let you go, final score prediction for tonight.
I'm going 5-3.
Okay, 5-3. You heard it here first. 5-3 prediction for number 20's father, John Joseph Cristiano. We step aside when we return. Second period puck drop between Indiana and Illinois State on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University Radio Network. Back in Bloomington, 2-1 lead for Indiana over Illinois State after the first period of play. Goal scored by Jack Null and Jack Jordan have the Cream and Crimson on top of Illinois State, who got their only goal via Connor Tully, the senior out of York, Pennsylvania, putting the Redbirds on the board after the first frame. Casey Roehl with you alongside Sam Wexler ringside from Frank Southern Ice Arena. Sam, it's been a mix of both youth and the present for Indiana factoring into scoring today. Jack Jordan put Indiana up 2-0, but that first goal that started things, Jack Null, a signature Null goal with a bar down strike.
Yeah, Jack Null had a fantastic strike, and we have a clip from the side of the ice right in front of the net by Sidney Mathis. Top shelf, Casey.
And for Null, that was his second consecutive game with the goal. He's got 6 on the season. And it's a bit of a different look for Indiana. They trailed 2-0 after period 1 yesterday. They're on the leading edge entering the second, but they're on the penalty kill for a minute 55 after an Alex Shabazz cross-checking minor in the final 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was a tough play to make and a tough call to have go against you right at the end of the period. And you'll be shorthanded for a solid portion of the start of this next frame.
Let's give you a quick game and season reset for Indiana, the number 13 team in the Southeast region. A lot's on the line tonight. A trip to regionals for what would be its first trip since 2009. A lot's got to happen for Indiana tonight. Ryder and Xavier are each ahead of Indiana in the rankings. Xavier and Ryder each play at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, respectively. But another caveat, George Washington University, out of the Colonial Athletic Hockey Conference, the number 16 team in the Southeastern, they get an auto bid, so they're automatically in the top 12. So, Sam, Indiana, to stay alive, they have to win tonight, and then a couple other dominoes have to fall.
Yeah, this is the situation you didn't want to have happen. And those losses early in the season to teams like Michigan out of conference really hurt your chances when you're talking about the ACHA rankings in your region. Michigan is a team that Indiana really could have used a second win against to strengthen their record overall.
Indiana in the exact same spot it was in last season, 1 ranking shy against Michigan State. They're in the exact same spot almost a year later on February 8th, 2020 against Illinois State, a team that Indiana owns a 5-0 all-time record against. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Indiana to resume play in period number 2. The same starting 5 that began the game. Jack Jordan, the senior captain, 1 of 2 Indiana goal scorers, alongside Will Patton, Aiden Goodfellow, Cade Kenyon, and Jack Null to start. Now it's tossed. Jack Kissel is supposed to be the starting forward, but with the penalty killing, Null will get on as soon as Indiana gets a chance to make a change. The 5 on the ice for Illinois State on the power play: Nico Castino, Logan Oliver, Michael McKellen, Dan Quagliata, and Jack Shadle. Illinois State from left to right, Indiana from right to left. Off the tie-up, ISU controls Oliver, works it far side to Quagliata. A minute 50 on the Indiana penalty. The Cream and Crimson leading by 1, 2-1 our score. Shadle, right half dasher, lost the puck. Jordan filters from right to left. It's touched by Kelly in the defending zone. Illinois State, 15% on the power play this season. They went 1 for 3 in yesterday's loss. Castino, left circle, drop feed to McKellen, swatted by Jordan out of the zone from right to left.
Good clearance for Indiana, a chance for them to get fresh legs on the ice during the long change in the second.
40 seconds into period 2, Indiana up top 2-1. A minute 15 on the ISU power play. McKellen right circle at the goal line, back behind the net, looking middle, looking left side. His wrist deflected, a sprawling pad save by Stebbins. It rolls toward the left half dasher, kept in by McKellen. Top of the circle, stick check by Jordan, rolling to the goal line. Oliver picks it up, scaling the wall, works at goal line. McKellen, he digs it out. He scored 1 of 3 ISU goals yesterday. Kelly, right circle, hands off Shadle, looking middle, looking right, back to Kelly, high slot. His wrist deflected off of a Castino backhand shot, deflected toward the right circle. It's backhanded by Shadle toward the right circle. McKellen hands off Castino, right half dasher toward the goal line. Centering feed, deflected, intercepted by Patton, and he guns it down from right to left. A minute 25 in the period 2. 30 seconds left on the Alex Shabazz penalty. Indiana leads 2-1. Kelly, right hash marks, works it far side. to Tully. He scored the only goal for ISU today. High slot. He fakes. He waits. He shoots. His wrister high over the crossbar. Bounces toward the left goal line. Radke behind the net. Holds in the backhand. Weaving his way to the right circle. Walks the near boards. Hands off Tully, right point. Bangs it off the near wall to Radke. He filters a shot. Deflected high off glass and into the mesh to halt play. 5 seconds on the Shabazz minor remain. Just under 2 minutes gone in period 2. Indiana leads 2-1. Indiana's penalty kill at 70%, the lowest in the TSCHL. Face-off to Stebbins' left. Ronan takes the face-off against Krush. Off the tie-up, Krush for Indiana controls. He works it to the right goal line. And it's McDaniel whipping off the high glass. 5-on-5 hockey. Shabazz out of the box. Radke centering feed. Logan shot right goal line deflected. Stebbins puts the glove on to halt play. 17:55 left in the first. Indiana maintains a 1-0 lead. Radke centered toward the near post, but Stebbins, who's been the big-time game man for Indiana net, makes the stop. Face-off to the Indiana seniors' left. ISU controls off the draw. Ronan right hash marks, works it to the goal line. Radke centering feed through the slot, works it left point. Shot by Lothar, deflected, batted by Cristiano, backhands to center, Adam Offenbach. Ambles past the red line, gains his own right side, top of the circles, in a high slot. He waits, he shoots, he scores! Adam Offenbach puts Indiana up 3-1. Offenbach down to the defending zone, down the right side. Dipped and danced past a couple Redbirds, worked his way to the top of the circles, and the freshman puts it past the glove side of Meyer to put Indiana up by 2.
What a performance, Casey. These guys have been throwing the puck on frame and in the perfect spots on net. Top shelf in the corner where the goalie has the least chance of getting it. Awesome shooting so far.
It's the 7th goal of the season for Offenbach and his 6th at Frank Southern Ice Arena. Face-off at center, Castino for ISU. Left circle toward the goal line. Backhands to Logan. Stapled off the puck by McDaniel. ISU maintains his own. McKellen left circle. Works it to the point. Slap shot Logan. Deflected. Puck bounces toward the right goal line. Stick by Stebbins toward Fitzgerald. Saputo, right point for ISU, maintains his zone. Bottom of the right circle. Casino centering pass. Backdoor post. McKellen fans on a one-timer. Rolls toward the left dot. McKellen on the forecheck. Back behind the net. Centering feed deflected. McKellen backhand saucer pass. Nobody in the slot. Null intercepts for Indiana. 3 minutes into period 2. Indiana leads 3-1. 3 different goal scores for the Cream and Crimson. 2 freshmen and 1 senior scoring on senior day. Castino for the Redbirds, back behind the net. The lefty forward, wraparound pass, deflected. It rolled past Stebbins' blocker side, and it's swatted out of the zone by Champel from right to left. Saputo first to touch for ISU. Fetches behind the net. Backhand circle to circle to Ronan. 16.5 to go in period 2. Indiana leads 3-1. Left point, Fitzgerald for Indiana. Rings the puck behind the net. Logan digs it out for ISU up the right half dasher. Stapled off the puck by Shabazz. Rolling to the point. Indiana with no. Back toward the net, right circle. Backhands to Georgiou, left point. Hands off Champel, his wrister. Blocker saved by Meyer in the butterfly. Pinballs off the high glass. Whipped by Logan high off the near boards. Georgiou unable to glove it down. He's got it back in the D zone. Here comes Indiana from right to left. Shabazz, left circle. He waits. Centering feed, deflected. Rolling left goal line. Stick check from behind by Lothar. He whips it out to center. Here comes ISU 2-on-1. Tully, left circle. Backhand centering pass off of Barron's left skate. And it's Indiana controlling with Scharf out to center. 15:45 to go in the second. Indiana maintains a 3-1 lead. ISU, a possible odd man rush chance similar to period 1, but thwarted from behind. Here comes Tully for ISU. Right circle, 1-on-4. His wrister blocked by McDaniel, rolling toward the goal line. And it's Indiana pitching it free. Bone cutter, backhands toward the near circle. Georgiou, stick check from behind. Logan right point, backhands toward the goal line, flicked out of the zone. Curtis Hubbard, the freshman, the lefty stick handler, wheels it back into the D zone. Just under 5 minutes into period 2. Indiana on top by 2. 3-1 the score. Bone cutter, right circle. Wrister blocked off a skate. Bounces to the left goal line. Sharp digs it out for Indiana. One hands toward the slot, and it's ISU controlling Trevor Barrett. Saucer pass to center. Glove by Straddle. Flicked off the high glass. Stebbins plays it behind the net. Off the high boards. Bone cutter. stretch pass intercepted at center. Kelly for ISU, the sophomore. Guns it behind Stebbins. ISU first two at Shadle. Puts on the brakes, right goal line. Sticked off the puck. Hubbard for Indiana. Rink wide pass, Bone Cutter. Pass to center ice logo. Right side at the dot. Drop feed looking for Kissel. Deflected. Indiana still got it. Goodfellow, high slot. His snapshot. Deflected over the blocker side of Meyer. Rolling left circle. Illinois State clears the zone to center. Just under 5.5 into period 2. Indiana on top 3-1. Dan Quagliata for ISU backhands out of the zone from left to right. Icing is washed. Stebbins first to play it. Works it off the high glass. Right circle, Quagliata wrister. Bounced out of Stebbins' glove. He throws his body on top to halt action. 14-10 left in period 2. Indiana leads ISU 3-1 as we step aside from the Frank. You're listening to Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. Play resumes with a face-off to Joseph Stebbins left. 14:05 to go in the second. Indiana leads 3-1. Off the tie-up, Jordan for Indiana. Gains the line from right to left. Dixon dangles past a man. Bottom of the right circle. Drop feed looking for Kenyon. Batted by Logan for ISU. He's unable to clear the zone. Fitzgerald for Indiana. Right goal line. Veers toward the trapezoid. Back behind the net. He centers looking for Kenyon, deflected, and here comes ISU from left to right. Oliver Grigg gains the line, left circle, drop feed to Ronan, swats it back to Grigg, back behind the net. Looks to twist, it rolls left circle, swatted by Radke, chip and chase. Indiana digs it out with Fitzgerald. Saucer pass right boards, underneath of Jordan's stick. It's Indiana with Fitzgerald rimming off the near wall. Dylan Lothar maintains his own for Illinois State. And it's Jordan for Indiana canceling out Radke, and he whips it out to center. 13:15 left in the second. Indiana leads 3-1. Jordan, left circle, top of the circles. Rister, wide glove side of Meyer, rolling right hash mark. Ronan digs it out for ISU. Lobs it down the far boards. Josh Gilbert, unable to maintain the zone. Left point, Rister by McDaniel. High, a delayed high sticking. That was Krush down the far boards. Krush, right circle. Circles and feeds high slot. It's underneath McDaniel's skates. 12:50 left in the second. 3-1 Indiana. Left circle. Crew shot deflected, but we get a whistle and a delayed offside. A very late call.
It was hard for the fans to see. They were disgruntled a bit as well because the referee did not hold his arm up per usual.
Krush was about 15 feet toward the goal line when Jared Bukta, the linesman, raised up his hand and made the call. 12:49 to go in the middle frame. Indiana leads 3-1. The lone goal in the second scored by Adam Offenbach. Face off at neutral, down to near boards. Offenbach takes the face off for Indiana against Michael McKellen. The lefty Offenbach against the righty McKellen. Bukta holds the puck in his left hand. Drops, and it's Offenbach controlling. They work circle to circle, a good fellow down the right boards. He gains the line. Right circle at the dot. He waits his wrister wide glove side of Meyer. Rolls left point. Patton scaling toward the wall. Unable to maintain the zone. He pitchforks into the ISU defending third. 12.5 remaining in the middle frame. Indiana on top 3-1. McKellen for ISU. Back behind the net. Blows a tire. Left circle. Centering feed. Deflected. Krush bats it toward the left circle. Left end dasher. ISU with McKellen still with it. Behind the net. Stapled off the puck. Offenbach hands off to Hubbard. ISU in the forecheck controls. Kelly left point. Wrister. And they score! Will Kelly off a deflection. And just like that, Illinois State cuts the lead to 1. 12:09 to go in the second. It's now 3-2 Indiana.
Casey, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Indiana is going to need more than a one-goal margin to get ahead in the standings.
Michael McKellen, the co-captain, got the deflection in the slot, beating Stebbins' low blocker side. And for the co-captain, that's his 13th goal of the season and his team leading fourth against Indiana. Center ice face-off. Indiana controls from right to left. Illinois State, their black sweaters, white and red lettering and trim. Indiana, the whites with crimson lettering and trim. Puck back behind Stebbins. James Dodaro for Indiana. Swats the puck off the end dasher, Christian Champel. Dangles past a couple men. Backhands to center underneath of Kelly's stick, and it's ISU in the defending zone, losing control of the puck. And now we get a whistle and a penalty. 11:49 to go in the second. Slashing is the call, and it's on Illinois State. And it's on Trevor Barrett, the team leader in penalty minutes, sitting in the box. Sam, I'll tell you what, his 48 penalty minutes, that's sixth most in Division II hockey.
Casey, I'm not shocked that he's taking another visit to the sin bin.
And in the last 5 games where Barrett has committed a penalty, ISU has lost. Indiana's power play unit on the ice for the first time today. Face off to Myers left. Indiana controls. Offenbach, one of 3 goal scorers tonight. Hands off Champel, left circle, weaving his way to the goal line. Kissel swats the puck. Goodfellow high slot. Rink white pass. Offenbach right circle. Walks the far boards. Left side. Goodfellow. His wrister deflected off of a skate. Ronan for ISU. Chip and chase off the near wall. Dug out by Offenbach in the Indiana D zone. 11:25 to go in the second. 1:35 on the Indiana power play. Converting at just over 26% this season. 1 for 3 yesterday. Offenbach gains the line. Right circle at the dot. He waits. He fakes. Puts it between his legs. Veers toward the top of the circle. Now top of the slot. Left point Goodfellow. Swats the puck to Champel. Flicks far side Offenbach. Right circle. He waits. His wrister deflected high off a stick and off the ceiling to halt action.
Casey, everybody lost track of the puck, and that happened last night 3 different times in this zone over here on the left side.
I saw it. Did you lose it?
Well, Casey, the camera lost it.
Always got to keep the other form of medium where the puck is. Face-off comes to Myers left. 9 minutes into period 2. Indiana leading 3-1. They're on a power play for 70 seconds. Face-off controlled by Indiana. Right point, Patton waits. Hands off to Kenyon. Right hash marks at the dot. Dishes Patton high slot. He waits. His wrister over the crossbar. Takes a bounce off the goal line. Kenyon shot deflected. Puck is free. Fitzgerald in the slotted area. His wrister deflected and it's flicked to the left point. Pat maintains the zone. Left circle Fitzgerald. Break by pass right side. Jordan shot. Chested by Meyer to stop play. Andrew Meyer, who kept Illinois State in the game late yesterday, makes a point-blank save, and it remains 3-2 Indiana, 10:37 to go in the second.
Well, instead of giving up a juicy rebound, the goaltender held onto the puck and allowed his penalty killers to get off the ice and have new guys get on.
49 seconds on the Indiana power play. Face off to Myers right. ISU controls. Quagliata rifles the puck from left to right. 10.5 to go in the second. Indiana leads 3-2. 35 seconds on the Barrett penalty. Jordan ushers the puck in the attacking zone right side. Dips past the man. Bottom of the right goal line. Looks to twist. Centering feed. One-timer Kenyon. Blocker save and a butterfly made by Meyer. It rolls left circle Jordan. High slot. Patton tees up a one-timer. Deflected off of Kelly's stick, and it caroms into the far boards and the mesh to stop play.
Well, Casey, there's the low roof making its presence felt yet again.
10:09 to go in the second. Indiana up by 1, 3-2 or scored. 21 seconds left on the Indiana power play. Christian Champel, Jack Kissel, Vladislav Krush, Aiden Goodfellow, Adam Offenbach, the 5 on the ice. Off the tie-up to Myers right. ISU controls the draw. They whip it from left to right off of David Flynn's stick. The Redbirds 0 for 1 on the power play. 10 minutes to go in the second. Indiana's man advantage chance down to 6 seconds. Offenbach, right side, weaves his way to the left point. Stapled off the wall, pitchforked out of the zone by Kelly. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play today. 9:40 left in the second. Indiana leading 3-2. In Illinois State with Barrett. Lobs it from left to right out of the zone. Goodfellow whips it to Krush. High slot, wrister chested by Meyer to stop action. Easy line of sight save for the sophomore goaltender. And it remains a 1-goal Indiana lead, 9.5 to go in the second.
Well, Casey, it might have been a line of sight save, but I've got my hands full over here on the camera and tech and making sure that the scoreboard is updated, and that was not a line of sight play for me to make going from the camera down to the computer.
The net's also in the way, too, so if that inhibits the line of sight, let me know at some point. We'll see if D. Tuttle can get that changed. Face off to Myers left. Indiana controls. Kenyon, stick check from behind by McKellen. He surfs ahead from left to right, gains his own. Left circle, veers toward the top of the slot. His wrister deflected. Lothar right dot. His shot deflected. Pad saving the butterfly by Stebbins. Rolling right goal line. Lothar at the dot. Pitchforked free by Georgiou, but it's Lothar on the forecheck. Behind the net, stapled to the wall. Kenyon kicks the puck to himself. Boots it toward the left point, kept in by ISU. Kelly left circle, backhands behind the net. Indiana with Georgiou first to it, but Kelly maintains his own for ISU. Works at McKellen. Right circle, wrister underneath of Stebbins' glove. Skitters toward the left point. Jared Shadle. Lobs to Nico Castino, behind the net. Stick handles past a couple men, spins, falls to the ice, no penalty called. Cristiano for Indiana, left circle, can't clear the zone. Whalen, left circle, tees up a slap shot, deflected off a body in the slot. Indiana into the zone with Kenyon, works the roulette wheel down the right point. Whalen keeps the zone momentarily, but Jordan prods it out to center. 8:15 to go in the second. Indiana on top 3-2 over Illinois State. Puck batted down in the defending zone by Georgiou for Indiana. One hands the puck to himself, right circle. Dips and dangles past a man. Gains the line. High slot. Hands off, no. Right circle. Chip and chase toward the board. Swatted by Ronan. It's out to center ice with Logan Oliver. Left circle at the dot. Puts on the brakes. Stick by Fitzgerald to the left point. Rolling puck. A shot deflected. Ronan behind the net. Just behind Stebbins. I don't think Stebbins saw that Ronan was wheeling in behind him. That was close, but the senior goaltender directing traffic with his Indiana side leading 3-2. 7.5 to go in the second. Fitzgerald, drop pass right point. Kenyon, wrister, bounces wide blocker side of Meyer with Indiana making a line change. ISU from left to right, unable to clear the zone. Shabazz, rink-wide pass to Champel, batted by Saputa out to center ice, and it's down for an icing. 7:18 to go in the second. Indiana leads 3-2. The final game of the regular season on senior night, with Indiana fighting for its regionals hopes. They haven't made the regional tournament since 2009.
And Casey, just a year before that, they were in the national championship game and lost. And this program has not been back to that level of competition and that level of success since that time.
From the early 90s to 2009, Indiana had appeared in 4 national championships. Since, they have made 1 regional appearance. Off the face-off to Meyer's right, a shot by Shabazz, deflected off the side of the net. ISU unable to clear the zone. Chappelle right point, centers high slot. No, waits, he fakes. Stick by Logan. Here comes ISU from left to right, possible numbers. Ronan right circle, puts on the brakes, right goal line, centering feed, batted by No. He's got it right hash mark. His centering pass, batted by Patton. And the Indiana D-man backhands to center. 6:50 to go in the second. 3-2 Indiana. Shabazz, the lefty forward. Bottom of the right circle. Centering feed. No. Stick check from behind in the slot. Logan Oliver down the far boards. We're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get a delayed penalty. It's on Indiana. It's touched up by Champel down the far boards. And a slashing call is going to be called on Jack Null. The team leader in penalty minutes sits in the box. And Illinois State, a chance to tie the game on the power play. They trail 3-2. 6:36 to go in the second.
Casey, Jack Null was remarking during the pregame senior night ceremonies about how much time he's able to spend per game in the box. He said one game he had 12 or 14 minutes.
Illinois State 0 for 1 on the power play, similar to Indiana. Face off to Stebbins is right. Indiana controls back behind the senior netminder. Barrett McDaniel rifles the puck from right to left out of the zone. 1:50 on the ISU power play. Will Kelly, Jack Shadle, Michael McKellen, Nico Castino, and Logan Oliver, the 5 on the ice for Michael Hernbrot side. Castino left circle, centering feed, one-timer, Shadle deflected, backdoor post, Oliver shot, steered aside by Stebbins, it rolls left point. Kelly, straight away, high slot, center point, swats it left circle, Oliver at the dot. Filters high slot to Kelly, works his way right circle, his wrister deflected off of Crucia's skate. Illinois State maintains his zone. McKellen high slot. Kelly back to McKellen. Right circle at the dot. Wrister wide glove side of Stebbins. It rolls left point to Kelly. 5:50 to go in the second. 3-2 Indiana. The Redbirds on a power play for 70 seconds. Kelly high slot. Waits. Wrister deflected. McKellen fishes it out for ISU. He walks the near boards. Flicks it. Kelly high slot. Wrister wide glove side of Stebbins. ISU still controls. They work the umbrella. Back behind the net. McKellen. Left circle, Oliver. Fakes. Dishes. Radke. High slot. Wrister blocked off a couple of bodies. McKellen for ISU. One hands up the right half boards. Cruce for Indiana clears from right to left. 40 seconds on the ISU power play. 5:15 to go in the second. The Redbirds trail by 1. Now we get a face-off coming out to neutral. Is it a hand pass or an offside? We didn't see the ruling and the whistle.
No hand signal as of yet, Casey.
By the looks of it, it's a hand pass. Yep, it's a hand pass. 5:11 to go in the second. 35 seconds on the ISU power play. They trail by 1. Face off down the far boards. The Redbirds control. Nathan Radke pitches the puck behind Stebbins. The goaltender digs it out for Indiana. Works it right points. Will Whalen skips toward the goal line. Angles toward Trevor Behrens. He walks the near boards. Logan Oliver holds in a backhand. Waits right goal line. Back to Whalen. Cross ice feed. Radke fans in the one-timer left circle. Here comes Indiana shorthanded. Possible numbers. Kenyon right circle. Waits at the dot. Dances past the man. His wrister. Chested down by Meyer. Rolling left goal line. And it's ISU controlling from left to right. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. 4.5 to go in the second. Indiana leads by 1. Radke, left goal line, centering feed. Batted off a couple sticks. Jordan whips it to the left point and out from right to left. And it's going down for an icing.
Casey, the physicality that Indiana showed in the first period hasn't quite been there. They've been getting hits. It's the hunter instead of the hunted for Illinois State. They've brought the shoulders with them out of the locker room in this frame.
You get the feeling if Illinois State ties the game, Andrew Newman's going to be on pins and needles on his bench. Face off to Stebbins is right. Castino against Jordan. ISU controls left circle. Oliver shot wide glove side of Stebbins. Shabazz digs it out for Indiana. Flicks it off the near glass. Saputa for ISU maintains the zone. Castino right circle. One hands the puck to himself at the goal line. Centering feed. Batted by Goodfellow. Rolling toward the near side. Shabazz unable to maintain, clear the zone. McKellen centers. Castino shot. Pass saved by Stebbins. Puck free, and he puts his body on top to stop play. 4:06 left in the second. Indiana still remains on top, 3-2. A point-blank shot by Castino. Stebbins put his left pad out to protect his backdoor side. The senior goaltender keeping his team in it. Draw to Stebbins' left. Indiana controls McDaniel. Whips the puck off the near glass. Saputa first a touchdown for ISU. He scoots toward the far boards. Chips it behind the junior and Meyer. ISU from left to right. Saucer pass to center underneath Castino's stick. Indiana with Champel. Angles his way down the right boards. Chip and chase. Top of the right circle. At the dot. Stick check by Saputa. Rolling behind the net. And it's ISU with McKellen from left to right. Zooms past the red line. Gains the attacking zone. Right side. 2-on-1. Centering pass. Backdoor post. Castino fans on a one-timer. He had a wide open look left goal line. But remains 3-2 Indiana. 3.5 to go in the second. Castino maintains the zone in the trapezoid. He waits. He centers. Deflected off the side of the net. No for Indiana. Stops at a dime. Muscles it out to center. Couple bodies go bouncing. Delayed offside the call. Indiana touches up into the zone. Line change made by ISU. Chappelle, right circle for Indiana. Waits. Stick toward the goal line. He digs it out. Circles toward the top of the right circle. Puck clashes off of his stick. Here comes Will Kelly for ISU. Right circle. Drop feed. Barrett. Shot. Deflected. Tully backhand centering pass. Rolls to the right circle. David Flynn. Stapled off the puck by Null. Rolls to the right goal line. Backhanded by Bonecutter behind Stebbins. Dug out by Goodfellow for Indiana. One hands the puck to the left half dasher. Kept in by ISU with Kelly. Sticked away by Fitzgerald. He whips it from right to left out of the zone. 2.5 left in the second. Indiana leads 3-2. A shove away from the play. The Indiana faithful not liking the no call. Meanwhile, here's Flynn. Left circle. Wrister off of Stebbins' pad. Rolling puck in the slot. Indiana with Hubbard. He clears his own from right to left. We're going to get a delayed penalty. It's on Illinois State. Hubbard left circle. Puts on the brakes at the hash mark. Touched up by Tully. But Indiana to a power play. Interference is the call. A late whistle. Jack Null was hit away from the puck. It took about 700 spectators to shout out to the linesman down the near side. But it's Indiana on the power play for the second time today. Call goes on Trevor Behrens, his second minor.
Shouting it took and shouting they did, Casey. Indiana's power play superb. First in the TSCHL. And for Illinois State, penalty kill, not so good. Second to last in their conference.
Face off to Myers right. Illinois State clears the zone from right to left. Standing room only down the far boards. Indiana hockey players of years past and years present watching on senior night. Indiana leads 3-2. 2 minutes to go in the second. 100 seconds on the power play. Will Patton for Indiana in a defending zone. Patton, Fitzgerald, Kenyon, Jordan, and Cristiano, the 5 on the ice for Andrew Newman's Indiana side. Fitzgerald gains the line. Left circle, puts on the brakes, veers toward the point, bangs the puck off the wall, swatted by Lothar out to center. Stebbins forced to play it off of his stick, directs traffic, saucers to center. Kenyon touches it down. A minute and a half to go in the second. Indiana leads 3-2. Kenyon, stick check by Shadle. It bounces towards Stebbins. He plays the puck right goal line, bangs it off the far boards. Krush has it roll underneath his stick, and Saputo for ISU controls the carom. He guns it off the far glass and into the Indiana bench to stop play.
Casey, this is a killer penalty kill at the moment for Illinois State. They're batting the puck every which way at the blue line and preventing an attack from even entering the zone.
76 seconds remain in the second. Indiana leading 3-2. A minute, 1 second left on the Indiana power play. Draw comes to Myers left. Kenyon against Shadle. Kenyon wins the draw. Hands off Offenbach, right point. He waits. He fakes. His shot deflected. Puck in the slotted area. Batted by Saputo to the left point. Gloved by Goodfellow, but it's muscled out by Shadle. 1 minute to go in the second. Indiana leads 3-2. They skate from right to left. Krush, the team leader in goals with 13. Enters the zone. High slot. The lefty stick handler. Left dot. His wrister off the glove of Meyer. Indiana maintains his zone right point. Goodfellow hands off Offenbach at the hash marks, puts on the brinks. Saucer pass Goodfellow. Left circle. Wrister chested by Meyer to stop action. Andrew Meyer has faced 19 shots by my count in the second period. He's made saves on 18.
Casey, if Indiana is going to score on Meyer, a strong goaltender, they're going to have to force some late deflections and knock the puck around inside the crease.
Faceoff comes to Meyer's right. 43 seconds remain in the second. Indiana controls. Left point Goodfellow. Walks to near boards. Ambles to the blue line. Rink wide pass Offenbach. Straight away Goodfellow. Slap pass to Kenyon. Left half dasher. 30 seconds to go in the second. High slot. Goodfellow tees up a one-timer. High over the crossbar. Catches the high glass. Flynn bats it left point. Kept in by Goodfellow. He takes the shoulder near side. Kenyon, high slot, wakes. Offenbach at the dot. He shoots. Wide over the crossbar. Clears the zone from right to left. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. 15 seconds to go in the second. Indiana leads 3-2. From right to left. Kissel at the center ice logo. Backhands toward Meyer. He plays it with his stick over to David Flynn. 3 seconds left. Illinois State in the defending zone. Flynn puts it to the wall, and that'll do it. After 2 periods, Indiana leads by 1. 3-2 the score. The lone goal for Indiana in the middle frame. Adam Offenbach for Illinois State. It was Michael McKellen answering less than a minute and a half after Indiana had taken a 2-goal lead. So similar to how Indiana jumped up by 2 to begin the first, Illinois State with quick and rapid answers after Indiana goals.
Indiana had a good start to the game and the period in the second, but it just didn't quite finish as they expected. They got called for several penalties, some of them smarter than others. Some of those penalties might not necessarily be the ones you want to take, but the penalty kill was strong when it needed to be.
This season, when Indiana leads after 2 periods at home, 9-0. When Illinois State trails after 2 periods, 0-6, as evidenced by last night's loss. We'll step aside when we return. The second period intermission report between Indiana and Illinois State on senior night in Bloomington, the final game of the 2019-20 regular season on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. Indiana on top of Illinois State as we enter the third and final frame. 3-2 on the Redbirds, with Indiana playing its final regular season game of the season with a trip to regionals on the line. Casey Roehl with you on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University second period intermission report, joined by the final father of our graduating seniors, and Jeff Stebbins.
Thank you.
You look
Casey.
a lot like Joseph. Do you get that a lot?
I do.
Okay, good. It's not just me who says that. I think it's the nose and a bit of the chin.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I could tell when you were walking over that the nose and the chin were some of the defining factors, but that's
thank you.
just me. And let's talk about Joseph. He's keeping
Sure.
Indiana in the game after 40 minutes. Let's coach him up. What have you been seeing?
Well, it's been an incredible game. I mean, the last several games for the team have just been incredible. They've kept out of the box for the most part. They're hustling, and there's nothing more that you can ask for. So it takes a team effort to win, and the guys are doing great, and that's all you can ask for.
It's a team effort for Indiana, who looks to make it to a regional tournament for the first time since 2009. And Joseph Stebbins has been a big reason why. Last season at Michigan State, in the exact same spot he's in this weekend, he came up with 2 wins against the Spartans. Now tonight, his final start in Bloomington, he's 20 minutes away from what could be his 6th consecutive win against a ranked opponent here at Frank Southern Ice Arena. What's allowed him to excel in the big moments as you look at it from a parent standpoint?
Well, I think it's he was with a great high school team, and they won the state title 3 times, and he's played in a lot of key games, and I think he does well under pressure, and it seems like the harder the game, the better he does. But again, you can't say enough about the defense, and it takes a team effort. So we're happy for that. Everybody's playing well. I
have been told by multiple friends of mine from the Hoosier State that Carmel High School has a pretty good hockey program itself. Our good cameraman Sam Wexler is a graduate out of Carmel High School as well. But as you get ready to watch these final 20 minutes with Joseph playing here at the Frank and seeing the pregame ceremony with him going on the ice with the fellow senior classmen, what were some of the emotions going throughout your head?
It's a lot of ups and downs. It's been a family event for all of us, and some really great times, and with the other parents and other players. So it's hard to see that chapter quickly winding down. So the next 20 minutes certainly will be treasured.
What's the final game score in your mind? What do you think the final game score is going to be?
I'm hoping it's 4-2.
Well, Indiana at home, since Joseph Stebbins started under Andrew Newman in Bloomington. You a big numbers guy?
Yeah.
He's 6-0 and leading after 40 minutes against a ranked opponent at home. So we'll see if that stays true on senior night in the final game of the regular season. Jeff Stebbins joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University second period intermission report. Papa Stebbins, great for stopping by.
Thank you, Casey.
Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your time in Beachtown.
I will. Thank you.
We'll step aside. Back on the second period intermission report, Indiana leads Illinois State 3-2 after 40 minutes. We heard from Jeff Stebbins, the father of Joseph Stebbins, playing in his final game at Frank Southern Ice Arena. It's only right that we get part number 2, and arguably the biggest road fan for Indiana hockey and the biggest fan of this season, and Paula Stebbins, Joseph Stebbins' mom. I'll tell you what, I haven't actually talked to you since last season when the team was on the road in East Lansing against Michigan State. Another big-time game. Joseph Stebbins leads after 2 periods against Illinois State. There's got to be a lot of emotions going through your mind right now.
There is. It's such a bittersweet game because, this is the end of a career that started at age 5, and he really wants to go out with a win.
For Stebbins, the only native Hoosier in this graduating class, growing up in Carmel High School, just up the road from Bloomington. When he first made the choice that he wanted to continue his collegiate career at Indiana University and to continue his hockey career with the Indiana hockey program, what were your first thoughts?
I was excited for him. I knew he wasn't done after high school, and he was so excited to do this. So the higher level was more fun for him.
Talking with Joseph before the game today, he had mentioned that there's going to be a pretty big void in his life once his college hockey career comes to an end. And what do you think he's going to fill his time with if he doesn't fill it with hockey after college?
I have no idea. He does want to get into sports marketing, hopefully with a hockey team if possible. And so I don't think it'll ever end, really.
I know older sister's also a pretty good athlete herself, so it must run in the family. Emily Stebbins, a former volleyball player at Alabama at the Division I level, leaving the Hoosier State while Joseph stayed in the Hoosier State in Bloomington. But taking a look earlier today before the game started, going out on the ice with Joseph before the game began, there had to be 100 emotions going throughout your mind. What was the first thing that popped in your head?
Well, like I said, it's bittersweet. I want him, I don't know, I don't think he's done. He always says, a lot of people want to get out of high school and college and be done with it. And he goes, I feel like I'm never going to be done with this sport. I love it so much. So, like I said, I just hope he gets a win today and ends it on a good level.
Talking with 5 other senior parents, today's not only a final look at their hockey career in Bloomington, but sort of a precursor to graduation with saying goodbyes and one final times. When Joseph gets ready to enter the real world, what do you think that he'll take away the most from being able to be a part of something such as the hockey program for 4 years?
He's done this so long. I think all the teams he's been on, the great coaches he's had, he's learned so much that'll take him so many places afterwards. So I think he's going to be in a good place.
And talking with Joseph before the game, he had mentioned a big change between the regimes with Andrew Newman coming in the last 2 seasons. He had used the words vital, energized, and just pure happiness since he took over the program. What have you noticed since Newman took over a year ago?
Such a
with how he took
difference.
over?
He's so positive with everything that these kids do and encouraging, and he gets on them like a parent at times, but then he's very welcoming and happy from when they do excel and they do well.
Paula Stebbins, Joseph Stebbins' mother, joining us on the second period intermission report. You've traveled to most of the games this season. So let me bring up a scenario for you.
Okay.
Indiana goes to Louisville for the TSCHL tournament 2 weeks from now. And if all falls into place with Rider University and Xavier University falling out of the rankings, it would leave Indiana's spot in the top 12. Does Paula Stebbins make a trip to South Jersey for regionals?
Absolutely. I'm in the fan bus. Yeah.
Nothing less expected from Indiana University's hockey's team mom, if I could say so myself. Paula Stebbins and Jeff Stebbins joining us on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University's second period intermission report. Paula, great talking to you again as always.
Thanks, Casey,
best of
for
luck with your
everything.
future endeavors, and best of luck with Joseph after he graduates this year.
Thanks a lot.
We'll be back with a third period between Indiana and ISU, with the Cream and Crimson leading 3-2 over the Redbirds on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. The final chapter to an improbable season comes down to its last 20 minutes. 3-2 lead for Indiana over Illinois State on senior night, the final game of the 2019-20 campaign. Casey Roehl with you alongside Sam Wexler. Indiana scoring in the second, capped by Adam Offenbach for Illinois State. The goal scored by Connor Tully, and that's where we're at right now, a one-goal Indiana lead. Let's give you a quick game reset. Indiana needs to win today to keep its regionals hopes alive, but Sam Wexler, a lot has to go down for Indiana to make it to the top 12. Rider University and Xavier University, the two teams ahead of Indiana. There's going to have to be a lot of movement that goes on in front of Indiana sitting at number 13.
Right, Casey, and we won't even know the results of those games until 9 o'clock tonight at least, because those are 7 p.m. puck drops.
Rider begins at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Xavier in Game 2 of a home-and-home against Louisville in Ohio starts at 7 p.m. Indiana, as preached by Andrew Newman all week long, control what you can control. And can the Cream and Crimson, the youngest team in the TSCHL, control the final 20 minutes of play and what would be its first appearance in regionals since 2009? The five on the ice for Indiana, their white sweaters, crimson lettering and trim: Jack Jordan, Cade Kenyon, Jack Kissel, Will Patton, and Aiden Goodfellow. For Illinois State, their black sweaters, white and red lettering and trim: Connor Tully, along with Will Whalen, Dylan Lothar, Nico Castino, and Josh Gilbert. Off the face-off, Indiana controls with Jordan. The Cream and Crimson skate from left to right as you listen. Tully at the red line, guides the puck high off glass, and it skitters up into the mesh down to near boards to stop action.
Quick stoppage of play already, Casey.
9 seconds into period 3. Indiana leads 3-2.
Indiana is going to have to play physical. This is a long series, and this is the culmination of 200-plus minutes of hockey, Casey.
Face-off controlled by Tully, left point. Whips the puck behind Stebbins. Dug out by Patton, right circle. Stick checked away by Lothar. Kenyon for Indiana. Backhands to center. Kissel settles it down. Gains the line, left circle. High slot. Rink-wide pass looking for Kenyon. Puck battle down the far board. Swatted out by Hitzler. And he weaves across from right to left. High slot. Shouldered off the puck by Patton. Kenyon picks it up for Indiana from right to left. Right point. Lost the puck top of the circle. Backhands to Kissel. Jabbed by Jordan. Sticked away by Kelly. And the sophomore for ISU, the lefty stick handler from right to left. Left circle, dipped past Jordan's shoulder. Shot from the left dot. Stick the side by Stebbins in the butterfly. Bounces off the high glass down the right corner wall. And it's ISU with Kelly. Now to McKellen, left circle. Hands off Kelly. Left point, wrister batted off a couple sticks. Pinballs to the left goal line. Castino digs it out. He's second all-time in goals for ISU at 30. One away from tying the all-time record. McKellen, left circle. Big hit put on by Jordan on the Illinois State captain. Puck battle at left point, and it's Fitzgerald lobbing it from left to right out of the zone to stop play. Icing is called. A minute 17 into the third. Indiana leads 3-2.
Big-time captain-on-captain violence, Casey. That was a monster hit.
Face-off comes back into the Indiana attacking zone. The Cream and Crimson 8-0 at home this season when leading after 2 periods. Illinois State 0-6 when trailing after 40 minutes. Face-off to Stebbins' right. Off the tie-up, ISU controls. Ratke shot top of the right circle, deflected, rolling in the slot. Dug out by Indiana with Fitzgerald. Lobs from left to right, out to center. Dug out by Quagliata. Rink-wide pass looking for Ratke, deflected by Goodfellow. Pinballs down the right boards, delayed offside the call. Indiana digs it out with Fitzgerald down to near wall. Pitchforks toward the boards. Stick check by Ronan. Veers toward the left hash marks. Angles to the goal line. Back behind the net. Ronan looking middle, looking right. Stick by Fitzgerald. Jabs toward Kissel off the high glass. The freshman filters out to center. Intercepted Kelly. He whips it toward the near boards. Fitzgerald digs it out for Indiana from left to right. The junior D-man lobs it back behind Meyer. Illinois State touches down with Ronan. 2 minutes, 5 seconds into period 3. Indiana leads Illinois State 3-2. The Redbirds have yet to defeat Indiana. They're 0-5. Kelly, left circle. Wrister, wide glove side of Stebbins. Indiana with Krush. First to dig it out. Flagged down far boards by Offenbach. He scored the go-ahead goal for Indiana in the second. Kelly back behind the net. Back toward the net, left circle. He works it to Tully. Left point Saputo. Top of the slot. Waits. He fakes. He shoots. Wrister bounces wide glove side of Stebbins. Rolling left goal line. Krush for Indiana. Staples the puck to the wall. Kick by Kelly toward the end dasher. Couple bodies aside, fighting for control. And it's Indiana with Cristiano muscling it out to center, where Saputo touches down for ISU. Just under 3 minutes into period 3, the final frame of regulation play for Indiana this season. The Cream and Crimson lead 3-2. On the turnover, McKellen for ISU. Bottom of the right circle, Rister. Left toe save by Stebbins. It pirouettes toward the right point. Kelly maintains the zone, swats it to the slot. Intercepted Tadaro, stretch pass out to Krush. Right circle, top of the slot, waits. Left circle, shoots, he scores! Vladislav Krush doubles up the Indiana lead. 4-2 lead for the Cream and Crimson. 16:48 to go. On senior night, the junior from Riga, Latvia, the furthest East tenured player in Indiana hockey history, deposits his team-leading 15th goal of the season.
Incredible, Casey, and at a perfect time when Indiana was bringing the hits and bringing the physicality and a very fast pace of play right out of the gate. This sets the tone for the final frame.
For Krush, that's his 8th goal in the last 5 games. Face-off at center, ISU controls Will Whalen into the defending zone. Rink wide pass looking for Ronan, batted by Radke. Puck battle at center, no. Pitchforks off the high glass, settled down by Champel, intercepted Tully. Puck battle at center, Indiana with Champel. Gains the line right side, at the right circle. Dips past Whalen, can't get past Ronan. He chips it to the goal line. Forecheck by Indiana. No, right goal line, centering feed. Rink wide looking for Shabazz. Pickpocketed by Ronan for ISU. The 5'10" junior. Jets past the red line, gains the zone. High slot, stick check by Shabazz. Backhands to center, and Dylan Lothar forced to pitch it behind Stebbins. Line change made by Michael Hernbrot's Redbirds. 4 minutes into period 3. Indiana on top 4-2. No, gains the line. High slot, rink wide pass. Left circle, Rister, Goodfellow. Over the crossbar, blocker side. Right point, one-timer, Champel. Blocker saving the butterfly by Meyer. It rolls to the right goal line. 2 bodies aside, sticking for control. ISU works it to the point. Goodfellow hands off Champel. Right circle at the dot. Lost the puck. Castino for ISU. Cross ice feed to Meyer. Right circle in the attacking third. Falls to the ice. No penalty called. Castino digs it out for ISU. He shifts past a couple of defenders. Bottom of the right circle. Looks to center. Batted by Champel. He veers past a couple Indiana D-men. 15.5 to go in the third. 4-2 Indiana. Logan centers off of Castino's stick. Punch toward the near corner. Indiana in the defending zone with Goodfellow. Works at left point. Flynn keeps the zone. His shot deflected off of Stebbins' chest. Puck battle right goal line. Castino kills it over towards Kelly. Right circle. High slot Castino. Batted down by Kenyon, but ISU maintains the zone. Right side. Intercepted. Here's Champel for Indiana from left to right. Left circle. Puts on the brakes. Rister high over the blocker side of Meyer. It pinballs toward the near point, and it's carrying out to center where Fitzgerald picks it up for Indiana. 14:50 left in the third. Indiana leading 4-2. A goal by Vladislav Krush a moment ago has put Indiana back up by 2. Bone cutter for Indiana. Right goal line. Near point Fitzgerald. Right side. Rister off a deflection. Kicked save made by Meyer. Rolling right circle. It's filtered out by Saputa to center. Stick checked away by McDaniel. Hands off to Bone Cutter, and he works it toward the left point where Indiana controls out to center ice. 14:20 to go in the third. Indiana leading by 2. 4-2 our score. The final game of the regular season on senior night with Indiana's regional hopes on the line. A win plus a Ryder and Xavier either loss or tie would guarantee Indiana a spot in the regional tournament for the first time since 2009. Puck battle back behind Meyer. Indiana with Bone Cutter. Right goal line. Looking middle, looking right. Hands off Fitzgerald. High slot. Slap pass to Bone Cutter. Centering feed, high slot. Kenyon working near post. Tries to feed slot. Batted out by Shadle. Weaving toward the right goal line. Just over 6 minutes gone in period 3. Indiana leads 4-2. Bone Cutter. Left side. Slap shot blocked and chested down by Meyer to stop play. 13:37 left in the third. Indiana leads 4-2 as we step aside from Frank Southern Ice Arena. You're listening to Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. $13:37 left in the third. 4-2 lead for Indiana. Face off to Andrew Meyer's right. Wrister by Georgiou left point. Stick checked in the butterfly made by Meyer. Rolling puck back behind the net. AJ Saputa backhands to Oliver Logan. Unable to clear the zone. He's got it near side. Staples the puck to the corner. Indiana on the forecheck. Kissel, right goal line. Centering feed. Pinballs in the slot. Georgiou maintains the zone. Center point, right side of Jordan. Rink White pass. Left circle, Kenyon Rister. Wide over the crossbar, past a sprawling Meyer. It clears the zone from right to left. 7 minutes into the final frame. Indiana leads 4-2. A wide open backdoor shot by Kenyon. A couple inches high and wide. Would have put Indiana up by 3. The largest lead for the Cream and Crimson has been 2. They've allowed their most goals to opponents in the third period. 38 of the 79 goals have been scored by opponents in the final frame. Puck battle at center. Rolls between Saputa and Logan in the ISU defending zone. Indiana makes a line change with the Redbirds having to go the full length of the ice.
Casey, with the amount Indiana's controlling the pace of play at the moment, you'd think it was a power play, but it's even strength.
Trevor Barrett, left circle, Rister kicks off of Champel Goodfellow's skates, and that stops play with the puck up into the mesh. 12:26 to go in the third. Indiana leads 4-2. They look to go 6-0 all time against Illinois State, while the Redbirds look to snap an 0-for-5 streak to begin their all-time season series. Face-off comes to Stebbins' left off the tie-up. It's controlled by Indiana. Back behind the net, Goodfellow. Wheels back behind goal. Krush. Saucer pass to center. Underneath Cristiano's stick. Whalen backhands to center, and now it's Tully for ISU. Rink White pass in the defending zone. Connects with Sam Braun. He guns it from right to left, and icing is called. 12:06 to go in the third. Indiana leads 4-2.
A really lucky icing there, Casey. What this does is allows Indiana to get set up on the attack again. And now that the puck is in the attacking zone, they'll be able to hold it there and control the corners and hopefully set up an offensive attack.
Face-off comes to Myers' left. A couple left-handed forwards, and Offenbach and Carcerano take the draw. Off the face-off, Carcerano for ISU. He controls right side. Holds in a defending zone. Rink White feed to Shadle. Stretch pass into the attacking third. Barrett right circle. Rister deflected. That hit off of Oliver's stick. It rolls behind Stebbins. Karams out to the right circle. Shadle, one-timer, hits off the right post and rolls into the slot. It remains 4-2 Indiana, 11:40 to go in the third. Krush, right circle for Indiana. Drop feed to Offenbach, right goal line. His shot batted up into the air. Indiana winning a high stick, none called by Jared Bukta, the referee near side. 11.5 to go in the third. The lead for Indiana to 2. 4-2 our score. Jack Null for Indiana. He scored the first Cream and Crimson goal today. 8 minutes into the game. In the defending third, pirouettes past a couple Redbirds, swats it near side. Nico Castino on the forecheck for ISU. Left circle, centering feed underneath the stick. Dylan Lothar, right circle, tees up a one-timer, batted off of Offenbach's skate blade. And it's Aiden Goodfellow muscling out to center the null. Gains a line right circle, holds in the backhand. High slot, centering feed, deflected. Shabazz shot, deflected off the pad of Meyer. It rolls left side. 10:50 to go in the third, 4-2 Indiana. Here come the Redbirds from right to left. Nico Castino, chip and chase, batted off of Fitzgerald's chest. The lefty D-man stretched out to center. Here comes Sharp for Indiana. Stick check from behind. Lothar gets to him early. And ISU maintains a 2-goal deficit. Sharp was in behind the fence. The freshman from upstate New Jersey unable to maintain the zone. Meanwhile, McKellen right circle. His wrister chested down by Stebbins to halt play with 10:26 to go. Indiana clinging on to a 4-2 advantage.
Smart decision by Alex Shabazz, acting as a defenseman on that break. He made himself skinny and stood in front of the near post during the break to act as a blocker and give Stebbins a clear angle to see the puck.
Face off to Stebbins' left, off the tie-up. ISU controls Radke, high slot backhander, deflected by Fitzgerald on one knee. Sharp digs it out for Indiana, weaves it over to Fitzgerald. The lefty stick handler past the red line, gains his zone, backhand feed looking for Sharp, batted by Radke, the sophomore for ISU. Rink White feed out to center ice. Trevor Scherp gains the line right circle. Drop feed to Ronan, tees up a one-timer, deflected off a body. Puck loose in the slot, and they score on a directed puck. Shane Ronan, backdoor post. And once again, Illinois State trails by 1. 10 minutes to go in regulation.
Casey, you have to wonder at some point if the number of goals allowed will be a detriment to Indiana when it comes to the rating system. And you have to be curious how that 3 goals allowed in the final regular season game will affect their numbers.
Illinois State has been Johnny on the spot. Indiana scores. And a few minutes span, ISU answers. Face-off comes out to center. Jordan for Indiana takes the face-off against Radke. Jordan controls. Indiana from left to right, leading 4-3. 9:55 to go from the Frank. Illinois State, Jack Shadle behind the net. Rink wide pass, Sam Braun. Looking middle, wheeling near side. It bounces out to center. Jordan for Indiana. He scored 1 of 4 goals. His final game at the Frank. The senior captain watches on from the red line with ISU controlling. Shadle. Stretch pass for Tully. Bounces off his left skate. Illinois State controls in the defending zone. Kenyon on a forecheck. Looks to twist. Bounces off his backhand, and it's ISU behind the net. Shadle forced to play it along. Meyer playing traffic cop. Indiana makes a line change with Georgiou controlling at center ice. 9:10 to go in the third. Indiana leads 4-3. Puck is sent down from left to right. Icing is the call. That was off of Goodfellow's stick.
Frustrating for Indiana. They got fresh guys on the ice, and Kenyon was doing circles around the net trying to hold on to the puck.
So, Sam, I got to bring up something here. We mentioned Indiana, when they score, Illinois State's quick to respond. If you're Andrew Newman, it's a silly thought, but do you think to try to not score in these final 9 minutes, knowing how this game has gone? You got to play devil's advocate at this point.
Casey, that's quite the theory. It sounds like Jim Valvano's fouling and trying to advance on a situation like that.
The point of hockey is to win games by scoring, but if Indiana plays to the strength and the tendency today, they could win by not scoring. We'll have to see where it goes. 8:55 to go in the third. 4-3 lead for Indiana. High slot one-timer. Castino batted down by Stebbins to stop play.
Tense moments on the bench. Andrew Newman, not his usual red-in-the-face self. He's stone cold on the coach's stool, if you will, behind the bench as he gives out orders quietly.
8:52 remaining here in Bloomington. 4-3 lead for Indiana. Face off to Stebbins' right. McKellen against Offenbach. Indiana controls the draw. Off the right circle. A one-handed shot by Castino. Batted into trapezoid. Dug out by ISU Radke. Right goal line. Edged off by Offenbach. He digs it out down the right circle. Flagged down by ISU McKellen. Right circle. Works it into the low slot. And it's Offenbach digging it free. 8.5 remaining in regulation. Indiana leads 4-3. A tie does Indiana no good. A tie in ACHA play constitutes as an overtime game. And an overtime game does not count for any points when you add up the total in the ranking system. Puck free at center. ISU with Dylan Loafer. One hands to Castino. Back toward the net. Dishes Loafer. Lost the puck. Chipped by Cristiano off the high glass. Rolling to Kelly. The ISU D-man controls in his own third. Line change made by Indiana. They lead 4-3 with 8 minutes to go. Radke for ISU on the forecheck. Lost the puck. Indiana with Krush at the red line. Backhands to Null. Dangles past a man. Gains the line left circle. Snaps a shot. Glove by Meyer to stop play. Andrew Meyer and Joseph Stebbins have been trading blows. It's essentially who blinks first.
It is, and Jack Null for Indiana has been looking supremely confident on his forehand and his backhand. His wrist shot has been wicked so far, and he's already netted one today.
He scored the first of 4 goals for Indiana tonight. Face off to Meyer's right. Lothar wins the draw. He whips it toward Matt Logan, the younger brother of Oliver Logan. Play continues red line. Out to the right point. Ronan, right circle, at the dot. Centering feed, deflected underneath Castino's stick. Here comes Shabazz for Indiana. Hands off Null, right point. Rister, chested down by Meyer, and it's ISU with Ronan back behind the net. Turnover, ISU into defending zone. Indiana controlling on the forecheck. Shabazz, half-dasher left wing. Back behind the net. Chappelle, centering feed, one-timer, Shabazz, deflected. Puck is free. Meyer keeps it out. Shabazz, point blank, had a wide-open one-timer, but Andrew Meyer, the MACHA leader in goals against and saves, keeps it 4-3 Indiana with 7 minutes to go. Kelly for Illinois State. Saucer pass to center, batted down by Null. No high sticking. Kelly, left goal line, chip and chase, in the trapezoid. Edged off the puck by McDaniel. 2 aside, ISU controls with Kelly. Weaves toward Tully. Back toward the net, left hash mark, looking middle, rink white pass, batted down by Whalen. He keeps the zone right point. 6.5 to go in the third, 4-3 Indiana. Tully and Dasher left wing, looking middle, dangles past the man, top of the circles, falls to the ice on one knee. His centering feed batted toward the right circle. Whalen digs it out. Right point. Tully wrister. Batted off a couple bodies. Pinballs to the left corner. Radke digs it out for ISU. Backhand centering fade deflected. One-timer Whalen. Wide glove side of Stebbins over the crossbar. But ISU in the forecheck controls right side. Tully. Right point. Back toward the net. Cycles off the boards, but Indiana with McDaniel clears the zone. Line change made for the Cream and Crimson. 6 minutes to go. 4-3 Indiana. Jordan for the Cream and Crimson. Rink white feed, batted down. Kenyon for Indiana, gains the line. Left circle, holds on the back end, goes on goal. His one-handed shot deflected off the blocker of Meyer. Here comes ISU from right to left. McKellen, right circle at the dot, holds on the back end, driving toward the goal line. Puts on the brakes. Feeds to Logan Oliver. Backhands to McKellen, the co-captain. Whips it high slot. Whalen T. Slap shot deflected wide. Rolling right circle. Backhanded out of the zone. Kissel one hands to center.
Good block by Kissel to put his body in front of the puck.
5:25 to go in the third. 4-3 Indiana. Castino into the slot. He waits. He fakes. Hands off Oliver. His shot. Glove by Stebbins to stop play. Big game. Joseph Stebbins in his final start at the Frank. He's keeping Indiana in front 4-3. 5:19 to go.
Well, Casey, there's a reason they call him Big Game Joe. He's already won an overtime game here at the Frank this season. It was back on the 6th of December against Michigan.
He won the final game of 2019 for Indiana. Can he win the final game of 2020 in the regular season for the Cream and Crimson? Left point off the faceoff. Lothar's wrister deflected. Pinball's right goal line. Cruz for Indiana. Chip and chase, unable to clear the zone. Pinball down the right boards, and it's Indiana controlling. Patton lobs the puck near side with 5 minutes to go in the third. 4-3 Indiana. It's cleared from left to right. ISU in the defending zone. Kelly bats it off the high wall. No high sticking called. Indiana with Offenbach centers one-handed shot backdoor post, and Meyer makes the stop. How about that for a broken play? Offenbach worked it to himself, right boards. A no-look backhand centering feed to Krush, who fell Bobby Orr-esque backdoor post, and he almost backhanded it past Meyer.
It was a diving attempt, Casey, and that could have gotten dangerous.
4:50 to go in the third. 4-3 Indiana. Face off to Meyer's right. ISU controls Oliver Logan. Rink wide pass, Will Kelly. Stretches to center. Trevor Barrett. High slot. Left circle at the dot. Wrister blocked by Goodfellow. Rolls and Dasher left wing. ISU maintains the zone. Whalen. Stick handles past a couple offenders. High slot. Top of the circle. Slap pass right circle. Oliver, his shot batted into the high air, and it's Kelly digging it down for ISU. 4:25 to go in the third. 4-3 Indiana. Barrett, left circle. Back to Kelly, left point. Wrister deflected, and Stebbins plays the stop. He puts it to his glove, and that holds play with 4:18 left in regulation.
Skillful combination of stick work and glove work from Stebbins. He used his stick to keep the attackers out of his crease, and using the glove to watch the puck all the way in.
Now the question is, we saw this yesterday, when does Michael Hernbrot pull Meyer for the extra attacker?
Casey, yesterday we saw it at about the 2-minute mark.
Face-off comes to Stebbins' right. 4:18 to go. 4-3 Indiana. Off the face-off. Logan shot bottom of the left circle. Glove by Stebbins. 3 seconds come off the timer. 4:15 remaining. Indiana leads by 1.
Could be another nail-biter, Casey. This one is a barn burner just like the first game of the series.
And remember, yesterday when ISU pulled the goalie for an extra attacker, they committed a tripping minor, which eliminated the extra skater. And now we get a whistle, and we're going to get a penalty. It's on Illinois State, on cue. Elbowing's the call.
Casey Fitzgerald got caught high, and Fitzgerald's mask was up and flapping around. After the initial hit, he looks to be in some serious discomfort over as he heads toward the Indiana bench.
And it was Fitzgerald who drew the penalty late yesterday. He draws the penalty with 4:07 remaining. And it's Nathan Radke sitting in the box for 2.
Casey, this is quite the situation that they've put themselves in, Illinois State, as now they've got a man doing hard time, and Indiana will have a chance to essentially have what Illinois State wanted with that extra attacker.
Indiana 0 for 2 on the power play. ISU 0 for 2. Face off to Myers left. Indiana controls. Offenbach straight away. High slot. Center point. Swats the puck to Goodfellow left circle. Hands off Champel. Left hash marks. Looking middle. Flicks the puck Offenbach. Right side at the hash marks. Bottom of the right circle. Snaps a shot. Blocker saved by Meyer. Pinballs to the right point. Indiana maintains the zone. Goodfellow. Center point. The lefty. Swats it Offenbach. Rink white pass. Chappelle, left circle, snapshot deflected, caroms toward the left goal line. 3.5 to go in the third. Indiana leads by 1, 4-3 our score. Chappelle walks the far board, center point, one-timer, Goodfellow, wide blocker side, puck is free. Cruz digs it out for Indiana, twist the puck in front, deflected off of Myers' stick. It rolls left goal line, Cruz falls to the ice, ISU with Ronan in the defending third, unable to clear the zone, but Quagliata is able to.
Fresh penalty killers on for Illinois State. This gets some fresh legs to keep this penalty kill going.
3:10 to go in the third. Indiana on top 4-3. 60 seconds on the Indiana power play. The top-ranked power play unit in the TSCHL 0 for 2 today. Offenbach, he's got 1 of 4 Indiana goals. He rings the puck behind Meyer. 3 minutes to go. Line change made by the Cream and Crimson. Jordan for Indiana in his final game at Frank Southern Ice Arena. Can he will his team to a win? Right goal line. Cristiano back to Jordan left side. And Dasher left wing. Hands off Pat. He lost the puck off his stick blade. Here comes the back check. Oliver Logan. Right circle. Short-handed. Stick and chase. Backhand shot. No. Rebound in front. The puck is free. And Stebbins keeps it out.
Casey, wouldn't you know, it's Fitzgerald back to make the stop.
Here comes Jordan. He falls to the ice. We're going to get another penalty on ISU. Jordan ggets tripped. Rolls right point. And it's touched up by Quagliata. Game, set, match potentially. Tripping the call. And Indiana on a 5-on-3 power play for 17 seconds.
What a huge situation for Indiana. They have to take advantage of what they've been given. And a very visibly angry man heading to the box, Whalen, one of the starters for the Redbirds. A tough break for him, but a pretty blatant trip.
The only member of this ISU team from the Hoosier State sits in a box against the Hoosier State's team. 5 on the ice for Indiana. Jordan, Cristiano, Kenyon, Patton, and Fitzgerald. Face-off comes to Myers' right. 2:24 to go in the third. Indiana on a power play for 2 minutes. 5-on-3 for 17 seconds before 5-on-4 for a minute 43. McKellen and Jordan take the face-off. McKellen wins it. He swats it from right to left out of the zone. 2:15 remaining in regulation. 4-3 lead for Indiana. A chance at regionals on the line. Can they hold on to the score? Fitzgerald, left circle, wheeling his way toward the net. Back behind goal, has it right goal line. Staples the puck to the wall. Looking middle, hands off Jordan, right point. Wheels his way to the right circle. Saunters toward Fitzgerald, down to Patton, left point. Scales behind the goal line. Fitzgerald, high slot, waits, fakes. His shot blocked. Castino hands off toward McKellen. A minute 45 to go in the third. 4-3 lead for Indiana. McKellen, left hash mark. Picked off the puck by Jordan. And Castino pitchforks out to Kelly. 5-on-3 for Indiana for a minute 10 seconds. A minute and a half to go in the game. 4-3 Indiana. Right circle, shot by Grigg. Deflected high off glass. McKellen bottom of the left circle. Chip and chase, back behind the net. Shot by Castino as he falls to the ice. Wide blocker side. No penalty called. Puck is free. Castino left goal line. His shot, no. 80 seconds to go in the third. Indiana leads by 1. Logan, right circle. Out to McKellen. Right point. His wrister. Wide glove side of Stebbins. Indiana with Fitzgerald. Works it near side. Kissel backhands out of the zone. 65 seconds to go in the game. Offenbach right circle. Chip and chase. Off a skate. Puck is free. Cruz right dot. Back behind the net. His shot close angle. Deflected. A follow-up by Cristiano. Glove by Meyer to stop. 56 seconds remaining. 32 on the Indiana power play. And the Cream and Crimson holding on to a 1-goal lead.
Casey, if there's anyone who was going to sneak the puck around the post and knock it in, it would be Vladislav Cruz. We've seen him do it time and time again, and he even scored a weird goal last night after it redirected off the backside of the goaltender.
We're going to get a timeout. It's taken by Andrew Newman. 56 seconds remaining. Indiana holding on to a 4-3 lead as we step aside from Frank Southern Ice Arena. You're listening to Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. 56 seconds remaining on senior night. 4-3 lead for Indiana over Illinois State. The final chance for Indiana to make a push for its first regional appearance since 2009. Andrew Newman, he was on the first team after its last regional appearance. He's coaching Indiana on the bench down the far boards. You can control what you can control, and Indiana looking to control the outcome of this one to keep their chances alive.
Casey, this is a critical 55 seconds for Indiana, possibly the biggest in the past 2 seasons at least.
56 seconds on the timer, 32 seconds on an Indiana power play. Newman utilizing his timeout to get situations all wrapped up. 5 of the ice for Indiana on the power play. Fitzgerald, Patton, Cruz, Jordan, and Cristiano. Face-off comes to Myers left. Off the tie-up, Indiana controls. Cristiano, top of the right circle, falls to the ice, pinballing into the slot. ISU with Connor Tully from right to left. 48 seconds to go. Tully drags right circle, his wrister. Flails back behind the net. He chases his miss, left hash marks. Jordan falls to the ice, no penalty called. It whirls out to center. Cruz for Indiana digs it out. Right half marks. Backhands wide, blocker side. ISU controls Tully. 30 seconds remaining. Indiana leads 4-3. Fitzgerald chases back behind the net. Logan toward the left goal line. Jordan pins the puck to the wall. 20 seconds remaining. Left circle to Logan. 5-on-5 hockey. 15 seconds to go. Kelly left goal line. Centering feed wide. Rolls out right point. Radke keeps it in. Swats it right goal line. 10 seconds left. Quagliata. Bottom of the right circle, holds, waits, centers, wide through the slot. 5 seconds to go. Logan, top of the left circle, tees up a slap shot, blocked, kicked by Cristiano, and that'll do it. On senior night, Indiana pulls off its 6th consecutive win to pull it out 4-3. And the final game of the season, they mob Joseph Stebbins in the slot. And in a season palled by miraculous finishes, up and down outcomes, Indiana has its signature win to cap off 2020.
What a performance, Casey, by the Bloomington boys to get the job done. Improbable finish, but it was what they needed, and now all they can do is check the scores and hope and pray that the other games come out their way.
The message from Andrew Newman all weekend, control what you can control and everything will take place. Indiana did what they had to do, sweep Illinois State. Now the eyes of the Indiana hockey community shift to Ryder and Xavier later tonight at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Indiana sitting as the number 13 team in the Southeast, needing to get into the top 12 to qualify for its first regional appearance since 2009. For the final time this season at the Frank, Indiana in its white sweaters walks out to the center ice logo to salute the over 600 fans showing out for senior night. And for 4 seniors, Jack Jordan, Cameron McNamara, Joseph Stebbins, and John Cristiano, their final salute to the crowd comes in a win.
Casey, I'm sure this is somewhat emotional for you too, as this is the final time you get to broadcast here at the beautiful Frank Southern Ice Arena.
Final game in regulation. We'll have our final post-game show with the two of us coming your way next. Final score 4-3. Indiana reigns supreme over Illinois State to close out the 2019-20 regular season on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network. Final score in Bloomington, 4-3. Indiana on senior night secures its sweep of Illinois State and keeps its hope at regionals alive for the time being. Casey Roehl with you alongside Sam Wexler on the Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University post-game show. Partner, these last 24 hours, ups and downs, back and forth, roller coaster games. If that doesn't define the season for Indiana, I don't know what does.
Casey, this is peak Indiana hockey. Nothing like it. We expected this to happen coming down to the wire. The guys got it done in crunch time. and this was the only way it seemed like it could happen.
A day after Indiana fell behind 2-0 less than 5 minutes into the game yesterday, they jumped out to an early 1-0 lead when Jack Nell pocketed his 6th goal of the season at the 8-minute mark in the first. But throughout the entire game, it was tic-tac-toe. You do one, I'll do the other, and Illinois State answering back.
Well, Jack Nell is a guy that's not known for being on the ice. He's known for either being in the penalty box or on the bench cheering on the team when his line isn't on there. But he had a beautiful top-shelf snipe to net the first goal and break the scoring open, and that was really what gave the team so much momentum in the first period.
On senior day, Indiana with Jack Jordan, the two-time captain, on his final game here at the Frank, pocketed his 8th goal of the season to put Indiana up 2-0 at one point in the first.
Another awesome shot there. And Indiana just kept the pace of play strong, right where they needed it to be for the entire time, and worked together and talked. And the penalty kill came up clutch as they needed it to because they worked on it during practice for at least 45 minutes to an hour on Thursday.
After taking a 2-goal lead, 30 seconds later, Connor Tully answered to bring the goal to 1, and that was the case with Illinois State all game. ISU had tied the game at 2 on Michael McKellen's goal before Indiana took a 3-2 lead on an Adam Offenbach strike.
That was also an impressive goal, Casey, and I just can't wait to see what happens tonight with the other games around the TSCHL and the Southeastern region for the ACHA tournament, and it will be a nail-biter to see what the numbers come out to on Twitter.
Vladislav Kruse scored the final goal for Indiana. It's his 8th in the last 5 games, his team leading 15th on the season, and that's where Indiana held it 4-3 to final. They're now 6-0 all-time against Illinois State in the first meeting here at Frank Southern Ice Arena since January of 2017. We referenced the other games that need to happen in Indiana's favor. Rider takes on Delaware at 6 p.m. Xavier takes on Louisville in the final game of its season at 7 p.m. in Ohio. Both teams ideally have to lose for Indiana to be almost a lock in regionals, but as you take a look at these final 8 hours of the regular season, what do you hope for and what do you look at as the worst-case scenario?
Worst-case scenario is that Indiana goes into the TSCHL tournament, the postseason tournament, in 2 weekends, knowing that they have to win the championship to get to the playoffs, the postseason in the ACHA. And looking at that, you've got to go through probably a Miami Redhawks team that is on fire, that one of the 2 games you played Miami, you got blanked. It was a 7-0 loss for Indiana when they traveled to Oxford, Ohio against Miami. And Ohio State, a team that Indiana hasn't seen since week 2 of the season, and they don't really have as much of an idea as what they're up against when it comes to the Buckeyes.
The team that clinches the TSCHL tournament gets an auto bid to regionals, and the top 2 teams from each region make it to the national championships. Indiana has yet to make a national championship appearance since 2008, a regional appearance since 2009, the year before Andrew Newman first stepped foot on the Indiana University campus. And how rewarding must this be for the second-year head coach?
It really is. Newman has worked so hard with these guys. He puts his blood, sweat, and tears and time into this team. All the guys on the team really understand where he's coming from as a former player. And when you see coaches and general managers of teams who aren't former players, they don't quite understand. They don't have that mojo, the swagger, the verbiage that the players do, and it creates a little bit of a disconnect. But with Newman, he understands what these guys are going through, and he's been there, and they respect him for that.
All you control is what you can control. The words of the second-year Indiana head coach. Indiana controlled its fate tonight with a final of 4-3 to defeat ISU in the final game of the regular season. Sam Wexler, it's been a great privilege working with you this entire season, throughout the regular season, through road trips over these final 3 weekends of the regular year. It's going to be a fun trip out to Louisville 2 weeks from now for the TSCHL tournament. Indiana, the number 3 seed. They'll take on Xavier if they lose tonight. They will play Bowling Green State if they win. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. The TSCHL tournament not exactly locked up per se, with BGSU and Xavier each playing at 6 p.m.
Looking at the standings, Casey, you can see that some of it is a little bit variable at the moment. Bowling Green and Ohio are still trying to get that top spot between them, and it will be interesting to see how Indiana reacts depending on who the opponent is.
Indiana closes out its season victorious 4-3 to final at Frank Southern Ice Arena. Before we wrap things up, 3,500 miles away from home, I never thought I'd find another home or see another home at Frank Southern Ice Arena, which has been at times miserable, dismay, just all sorts of despair, but at the same time, some of the happiest memories I've had since becoming an adult have come from the ceiling that stands 32 feet high and a rink surface that's 92 feet wide in length and 30 feet wide in width. A lot of great memories have come from the old shoe barn, and for Indiana, they look to make some more memories to begin the new decade. For everybody watching across the country over the last 3.5 seasons, I'm very grateful I've been able to be a part of your lives, along with either sons, daughters, and everybody who's made its way onto the airwaves since 2017. For Indiana fans, let's hope that it's not the end with the TSCHL tournament and with the regional rankings coming out in the span of the next 2 weeks. For the final time at Frank Southern Ice Arena, alongside engineer, color analyst, and future broadcast director Sam Wexler, Casey Roehl saying so long for the final time from the corner of 2100 South Henderson Street at Frank Southern Ice Arena. You've been listening to Club Ice Hockey at Indiana University on the Indiana Hockey Radio Network.